How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today I have somebody sitting next to me. Instead of doing this through the internet, this is Johnny from Die and Breed Collectors. You may have shopped there, and that's right, he has his own shop. How's that going, man?
It's great, love it. You also may have seen me out at the conventions. If you do that, I hit the convention circuit. I will be at Fan Expo Chicago. If you want to come down to Rosemont in August, see me. Otherwise, yeah, check me out on the internet, dude. At Die and Breed Collectors on Instagram. Love that.
I think I may do that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I may go because I was like, I need to do more conventions.
Oh, I'll get you a pass, man. Just let me know.
Okay. So yes, he is here joining me because he happens to be in Kentucky with his lady.
Yeah, I went to a wedding yesterday, and this guy's my pal, so said we should hang out, and he said, "Come on the show," and yeah, here I am. Wasn't gonna pass that up, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad I have a co-host because I think I'm okay now as far as sleep. I actually slept all through the night.
Oh yeah.
And not then I think the jet lag might be going away. So yes. So today is a very important day. This is something in case you missed any of the announcements or in case you're overwhelmed with announcements. This is your kind of way to catch up with everything that's coming out from February to July of 2024, including some unfortunate dates that have been moved around. Some things that were supposed to be released here this year have now been moved to 2024, but at least it's not canceled. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Like, the books haven't been canceled, they've just been reshuffled. There's a couple of books that are missing that I'm going to be asking about for sure. One of them is Extreme X-Men Volume 2. I still don't have a date, which probably means that it'll be moved past July of 2024. So this is also the time for you to chime in after I go through these books. I'm going to go back to each one, see if anything is missing from the book that you think would add to the reading experience. In the past, I've done that, and I've taken notes of what you guys have suggested and sent David emails. And, sometimes they do. Sometimes they listen and they add books in there, like the case of Thor by Straczynski. And Gillen. They added Siege and they added the Beta Ray Bill miniseries because you all asked, and that's exactly what we are here to do. Sometimes they say no, though, so don't get all your hopes up because sometimes they do say no because they have plans for something else. But I will be happy to actually, send all that information over to them. Joe Kelly. That's the other one I want to ask about, because somebody was asking me yesterday if it was in 2025, and I was like, I don't think so, but I don't have it on this list, so perhaps it might be. I will definitely be asking about that one and Extreme X-Men Volume 2. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Wait, have you announced up to January 25 yet, or is he just...
No.
Okay.
I've announced to July of 2024.
That's as far as we've gone. Right.
There's also some empty slots here for reprints and two new Omnis. I may be throwing some hints around. So, do it for Johnny.
I love that. There's been some good ones in there. It's Johnny Lawrence, Karate Kid. People are noticing that. Love it.
So, without further ado, before going any further, please don't forget to smash that like button. The Clean Shave Crew. I just want to take this time to also say hello to a lot of you fine folks that I've been talking to throughout the years. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. How many of you are just familiar faces and names that I've seen? Give compliments on your Karate Kid shirt.
Yeah,
there.
Actually, it's funny. Yesterday, before you asked me to be on the show, I had my bag packed, and then you were like, "Oh, you should be on the show tomorrow." And I ran in and got my razor and stuff because I'm like, he can't be more clean shaven than me. That was seriously on my mind. So
that was the reason why you shaved.
That's it, man. I've been dirty today.
So this makes me really happy to do. Welcome back. Hope you had it. I did. It was a great trip. It was an amazing trip. It was a lot of whenever you're taking your kids with you, though, it's a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this, Omar. Non-US Amazon sites have Joe Kelly for January 2025 and Excalibur 3 for September 24. I have Excalibur 3 for when do I have that? I think it's in March. So I will double check, though. I'll see if anything else is going on. So the reason they're doing that is so we don't get any more of Omnigeddons, like 8 books a week.
Those are brutal.
Well, yeah. Well, you're a retailer. You know what it's like.
I know. When I mean this in a nice way. When I used to see like people complaining about it, I'm like, man, you just got one copy of each. Imagine getting cases of each, and there's 8 books, and there's 2 covers of each.
Yeah. So retailers were getting killed because on top of that, like, you got to look at it from the retailer's angle of okay, I'm going to order these books for the people that want them. But now you're going to be sitting on so many books because you have 8 books coming in and people can't afford that. So they have to pick and choose. So it's really cool that, you know, it's both sad, I guess, for people that have all the money. And it's a good thing. It's a good relief that, okay, we don't have to worry about days like that anymore. So, all right. Welcome back, Omar. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. Is the Jimmy Chimp Omnibus coming out? Detective Chimp? Is that what we're talking about? It's not an omnibus. It is a hardcover, though. Hope DC releases a Tom King Batman omnibus. I'm sure they will. Tom King and Batman, I'm sure they will.
Combo right there.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I will go back. Now it's not the time to chime in with what you think needs to be added. We'll go back and look at each one of these books and see what there is. So these are the books I've already announced. Again, nothing new here, but if you missed an announcement, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about that. So maybe new. All right. Let's go ahead and start. Upcoming Marvel Omnis for February to July 2024. Let's do it. So February 2024, Black Panther by Christopher Priest, Omnibus Volume 2. I did put a list on our Patreon too, and that's where I kind of hinted at what the new printings were going to be. And by hinting, I mean leaving one of the titles in there on accident. But this is a book, I believe, that has been moved around, and now it is coming out in February.
This is your favorite Black Panther run, no? You've mentioned that.
Oh gosh, yeah. I love this run. It's so good.
How come Omar's favorite books get made? Funny.
Yeah, right. All my favorite books, like Ghost Rider and Darkhawk, get made.
That's what I was thinking of, Darkhawk. I'm like, if that does come out, something's up.
I can't believe I'm actually asking for Darkhawk. I love that book. Marvel, February 1964, kicking off the Daredevil year. It's, oh my gosh, that's crazy how many years these characters have been around, but it's the same thing they did with the X-Men and Avengers celebration, the Spider-Man celebration, and Fantastic Four. And now we have February of 1964. Some of these books have never been printed or collected, rather.
They still get the treatment, like the remasterwork treatment for
yes,
these? Very nice.
And then we have the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, the Master Edition. This is the ones that a little behind the scenes. I remember when David was telling me about this book, he was thinking, okay, here's the issue. When these books came out, when this handbook of the Marvel Universe Master Edition came out, a lot of us that had them would remember this is the one that had the 3 holes, so you could put them in a binder, but they were done in a widescreen format, like so, like this instead of like this. So you had the character profile. So he was like, oh, gosh, I kind of want to do this justice and print it like this, but that's going to cost an arm and a leg. So I think they are going to stick it to the just normal Marvel Omnibus, and then they probably do a character up here and one down here. But yes, they were originally printed like this. But this was, I think, before they went away for a while and then came back with the Ultimate Universe. This is the last of the handbook. And then we have a new printing here. This is a new printing from maybe the list of top 20. Actually, this one definitely was on the list of the top 20. This is one that you all voted for. I'll be announcing this one probably this week coming out. And this is due out in February of 2024. Spider-Man Ben Reilly Omnibus Volume 2. You have, by the way, I put the standard edition cover always on the left and the direct market cover on the right. Both covers by John Romita Jr. So this is a reprint. This has been previously printed, but the previous printing only had one cover. But now we're going to get both covers. So to answer the question about Extreme X-Men, I have not heard when it's been moved to, but it's something I'm going to ask. I did already ask about the newest miniseries being added to it. So that is something that they've said yes to a lot and then no to some. I can't remember what they said about that one, but I'm going to find out when it's going to come out. Thunderbolts Red Omnibus. Again, this would be considered volume 5 of Thunderbolts. So you have, no, I'm sorry, volume 6. You have 1, 2, and 3. You have the Warren Ellis and the Christos Gage and the Andy Diggle era. And then you have the Jeff Parker era, which is coming out as Uncaged. And that would be your volume 5. So what they're skipping is volume 4. But but I'm sure we'll get that someday.
So it's such a big Thunderbolts fan. Do you like it all the way through? Like, is it still good at this point? Like, as good as it was when it started? You still dig it?
No.
Okay.
Like,
Good to know.
just being honest.
Yeah.
No, by this point, this is not my favorite Thunderbolts run.
Okay.
But people love the Warren Ellis era too. I'm also not the biggest fan of that era.
Yeah.
Like, but so everybody's different.
For sure.
I did like when Charles Soule took over the book and made it better, but Daniel Way's the person that kicked it off. So I'm just being honest. Ultimate X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. Happy for you all that have been wanting this one. Collecting Ultimate X-Men 34 to 74 annuals 1 and 2. X-Men Fantastic Four, and then Fantastic Four X-Men. So those are coming out. And now in February 2024, meaning that we only have one more omnibus to wrap that up. And I hope when we get Omnibus Volume 3, which I'm sure will come, that they'll add the Ultimate X series. What was that? It was Jeff Loeb and Arthur Adams. Yeah,
that's a good combo.
Also not great though.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the? Have you ever seen the Comic Book Herald Omnibus and Theoretical Map series? Fun reads. Open for Doctor Strange Volume 3. I have not, but we did that on my channel before. It was called Map My X. Hopefully, I'll get my buddy Peter M back, who I did ask to join me, but he is super swamped with work. Captain America Volume 4. So let's talk about this one really quick for the people. I mentioned it on the video when I announced it. This run right here has been previously collected before. This would be the third printing, but it's being called Captain America by Jack Kirby. So this is just a rebrand. The last time it came out was in 2019. It did have the letter pages, so it did add all that stuff in there. This is a rebranding of it, just calling Captain America Omnibus Volume 4. And it's really interesting because some people are like, I wish it had more issues in there, instead of just the Jack Kirby issues. So here's the issue. That's totally unintentional. Here's the problem with that. Let's say they did that and they took it all the way to 216. I think a majority of people would be upset that for 2 more issues, they would have to rebuy the Captain America Omnibus Volume 4 instead of keeping their Captain America by Jack Kirby. But then again, I don't know. I really don't know how people think. Me, I'm an idiot, so I double dip a lot, even for 2 issues. I don't know how every collector is different. I'm sure some people are like, I'm not going to double dip for 2 issues. So I'm glad they kept it the same. They didn't add any issues. The problem's going to come when we get to the Frank Miller era of Daredevil, because the Frank Miller Omnibus is missing that Steve Ditko issue.
162, boy.
Yeah. So what's going to happen when they get to that era?
They got to include it.
And no, they'll include it. And then what are collectors going to do? So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Well, that shouldn't throw off. Like, okay, if you added to 216 here, that would throw off a Volume 5 if you just kept the Kirby one. Adding that 162 in a Daredevil won't throw off the next volume. It shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Hold on a second. This is really important. Last week or the week before, I walked into the Second and Charles and saw the Avengers: The Crossing Omnibus on the shelf for $47.95. Had to pick it up. Hard to find and expensive on the offer. I'm very happy for him. So Avengers: The Crossing is so not a good story, but I don't care. I love it. Now, this is they do this, by the way, from time to time. I'm sure you noticed when I announced this Moon Knight Omnibus, I announced a different cover. This time around, it's by Teixeira.
I think it's Teixeira. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Baseball player.
Y'all can blame Johnny for that. But this is the important thing about this is Moon Knight Mark Spector Omnibus Volume 2, wrapping up that era of Mark Spector. Meaning now we just need, because this takes you all the way. And I am going to ask, and when I come back to this one, I'll be asking what you all think needs to be added. I'll ask about the Marvel Knights, I think, issues that I think some people have suggested. So this takes us all the way to the Charlie Houston era of Moon Knight, which is already collected in omnibus format. And then after that, we just need more modern stuff like the Jeff Lemire, Brian Michael Bendis, Warren Ellis, Bemis, Max Bemis that wrote that.
Complete collection of that.
Okay.
So have those all been also released in a hardcover, like a deluxe hardcover or oversized?
The only
version?
deluxe hardcovers of those are the Bendis one and the Jeff Lemire one. Okay. Nobody else got that treatment. Yeah, everybody else has got trade paperbacks.
Okay, for sure.
So it'll be really interesting to see how they handle that era, because it could be another modern era collection. So we'll go back to these in case people want something added. There's a new printing here. This is another one from our top 20 list. So congratulations to all you people that voted. Thank you all so much for voting. It's very important to get your voice heard because that's how you get reprints made. Predator, the original Years Omnibus Volume 2, a book that a lot of people did not think would ever come. They were like, I think they're done. Predator must not have sold well. No, they just had to push it back because of all the delays of the first volume. So now here we have the original Years Volume 2. I think you all asked me about Race War 1 through 4. But when I come back to do this, we'll focus on a book one by one. I'm going to just go through these at first, and then we can go more in depth with what you all think needs to be added. And I got Johnny here as my personal secretary to write things down.
You know it, man.
So if anything goofs up, you can blame Johnny. Spider-Man Clone Saga Omnibus Volume 2. Interesting that we're getting Ben Reilly first, but that's okay. We're getting all 4 are coming back to print. So that's the important thing about this. For anybody that missed it, and more power to you if this is the stuff that you enjoy, this is your jam. I'm happy that it's coming back to print and more accessible to you all. No word yet of an Epic collection. I know a lot of people are wondering how they're going to handle this particular era, but I think they're just going to rebrand those Epic collections. I think it was called the Clone Saga Epic.
It was, or Complete Epic. Yeah, it was something weird like that. Not
they'll
Epic
just
collection.
They'll just put them as epics.
Because the one that you've announced, the rebranding, it's the same mapping, right? Or was it different? I can't recall. I know
some of them are, some of them
aren't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ultimate Marvel by Jonathan Hickman Omnibus. Very happy to have this one. This one was brought up, and I will be happy to ask, by the way, by the majority of people that think is a good idea. Somebody yesterday suggested asking if we could add S.H.I.E.L.D. in here. And I was like, I don't know if that will work, but if enough people want me to ask, I'll be happy to ask. X Factor by Peter David, again, a book that I announced for this year. It's been delayed until March of 2024. You have the Nick Bradshaw cover. I love those Nick Bradshaw covers because they were connecting covers. That is your direct market, and then your standard over here to the left. Now we're moving into April with Star Wars by Gillen and Pack. This is another one of those announcements that I love making because since I get this, since I'm the guy that sees the list, I also see the comments that are like, they're never going to do this. Screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and buy the trade paperbacks. They're never going to do this. And I've known about this one since I think it was December when David hinted about making it. And it's definitely one that has been on a lot of people's radar. It's the most asked for Star Wars collection. As the guy that gets to see all the comments, this is the one that people wanted the most. And it made me really happy to announce this one.
I was going to say that I would have assumed this was one of the most asked about. Like, I really would have, because I was shocked it wasn't. Like, genuinely shocked.
I really wish they had used the Travis Charest cover, though, of Princess Leia. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'd have to see it, but it was badass, I'm
sure. Dude. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Travis Charest cover of Princess Leia is freaking... It's a masterpiece. Because it's got her, like, her dress is... Yes, this one here. It's like... It's the mapping of the... Yeah, that thing is beautiful.
Was that the base cover or was that a variant?
That was a variant.
No,
that was actually... I think that was the base cover, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was issue number 50, so...
That would have been
maybe underneath the dust jacket is where they can put it. That thing is freaking awesome. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, pull it up. That is a good point. I guess I could pull it up. Give me a second. I'll look for it again and share it over here. Travis Charest, Princess Leia. Here we go. Yeah, this cover is beautiful.
It kind of gives me the Gleason Spider-Man vibes. You know what I'm saying with the...
Oh, yeah, the webbing.
Yeah, and they chose that for an omnibus cover, so why not this?
Let me share this one. This is the for those of you that don't know, this is the one I'm talking about. Actually, let's just do this really quick. And present. This is the cover I'm talking about. If you've never seen it, oh my gosh, this thing is just to me, it's a masterpiece. I love it.
Yeah.
So maybe they can put this as the underneath the dust jacket. Yeah.
Have you ever succeeded in, because I know some books have 3 covers. Have you ever had one where they only announced 2 and you got them to get a 3rd one?
I think for what was it? Yeah, twice it's happened.
Okay.
And David was like, "Well, it's the covers that we've chosen." And I'm like, "Yeah, but this one would be cool." It was The only one that I could not was Wolverine. But you know what? Wolverine
With
3.
which
you
one?
know what I wanted?
I know I'm with you on that one.
I wanted the claws popping out of the ground.
33.
Yeah. But my gosh, dude, Travis Charest has changed since his days of Dark. I don't know if y'all remember when he was doing the Dark Star books, and he was doing a lot of covers. Back in the day, we used to call him a Jim Lee ripoff. No, this guy is on another level now. Seriously, like, wow. Let me go back to sharing the presentation though, and we'll go back to it. Sorry about that interruption, but I figured if people hadn't seen it, that.
I'm glad you showed it. I hadn't seen that.
Dude, that thing is beautiful. So moving on to Excalibur Omnibus Volume 3. I think somebody said this was moved further down the road, but I will find out for sure. This was a book that I announced for this year. 2 covers. You have the Anthony Wynn cover, and you have the Joe Mad cover being the direct market cover. And me being a Joe Mad fan, I got to get that direct market cover. That's from the Fatal Attractions.
100%. I wish it would have the hologram in it. I know it won't, but man, that'd be cool. And we talked about stuff like, yeah, it should be the hologram right there.
Joe Mad Nightcrawler. Yeah, I'm excited for this stuff. This is the stuff with Scott Lobdell writing the stories. Now, if you're used to the goofiness and the fun stuff of Excalibur from Chris Claremont and Alan Davis, this is a lot. The tone in this is so different. This is when Scott Lobdell comes in and really doesn't know what to do with the characters of the book. But he doesn't stick around that long. Warren Ellis comes in and writes a lot of the story. Actually, about 24 issues in here. The thing that you all asked me to add in this one was the what was it? The Starjammers miniseries. And I will ask again, but please remind me so we have a master list of what you all want us to add, okay? We'll come back to this one, I promise. I hope they reprint Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 one day. Oh, I'm sure that will come, Richard. And somebody else was asking. Those Uncanny books will come even without the reprint poll. Mm-hmm. But I will ask when. New printing. So this is another one from your top 20 list. New printing. This one is not from the top 20. But we'll come back to that one. And new omnibus. This one I'm excited to announce. I haven't announced it yet, and nobody knows about it. I may throw a hint. I don't know. I suck at hints, and y'all will guess what it is. Daredevil Omnibus Volume 3. I was so happy to announce this one. Not because it's my favorite era of Daredevil or because I was hoping that this would come out. I was excited for the people that gave up hope that Daredevil wasn't selling. A lot of us that have been collecting Daredevil for a long time, or Omnis, I'm sorry, for a long time, know that this is one that just sat on the shelf for a long time. That it was liquidated. Daredevil Volume 1 did not sell. So people were worried that, okay, we're never going to get a Daredevil Omnibus Volume 2. They never reprinted Volume 1. And then Marvel took a gamble and said, all right, well, let's see if people are interested in the character. Let's get some Silver Age stuff out there. And we got a Volume 2 this year. And next year we're getting a Volume 3. So I'm very happy for the people, especially those that were like, no way it's coming. And now it's here. Now we're getting into the Black Widow era of Daredevil. So again, standard edition, direct market. Micronauts. Of course, that was one of my biggest announcements I've ever had on the channel. The like to view ratio, I think for announcements, my best performing one has been the ROM announcement and then Ultimate Spider-Man. You all love you some Ultimate Spider-Man. But then this one here. This, oh my gosh, this one was huge for me. Because this is the stuff that I remember. You got Michael Golden here. Oh my gosh, the 4 covers. They've never done 4 covers. Well, outside of the ROM, dude. Outside of ROM. So very excited about this one.
If you had to pick one, ROM or Micronauts, what are
oh my god! Oh, I'm excited for Micronauts.
Okay,
like I love ROM and what it did, and don't get me wrong, Bill Mantlo killed it on ROM. But Micronauts was more my jam. Plus those first freaking 12 issues of Michael Golden's artwork. Oh my gosh, yes sir, yes sir. The hard part is going to be which cover, because I gotta have like the whole team, because like yeah. But then I really like the standard edition cover.
Why don't you just be a baller like me and get all the covers?
No, because have you seen my base? I don't have the room.
It's pretty intense.
Spider-Man 2099, again, another book that was unfortunately moved from this particular year. This one, I believe, was October of 2023, and now it is April of 2024.
So Peter David only worked on the Volume 1, right? I'm not as familiar with this.
No, series. He came back to this.
He does. Okay.
Yeah, this is Peter David stuff too.
It is still okay.
Yeah. So there's some there's a lot of Peter David in here.
Most excellent.
So I'm glad that it also includes the Superior Spider-Man 17 through 19, which is kind of like the Return of Miguel.
Yeah. Yeah, if
That's
his name's
standard,
not on
awesome.
it, does he still benefit from that? Like, not as much, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
a bummer.
That's why they're doing the Jeff Loeb, the gallery editions by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Love that. That makes so much sense.
Instead of like people were upset, they're like, why don't they call it Captain America White or Daredevil Yellow?
No, that makes
because
sense.
they get a little more kickback if their name is on the title.
That's cool.
And it's really cool, for the estate of Tim Sale or his family. So
yeah, that would bum me out.
But yeah, very happy that this is continuing. I'm happy that Spider-Man 2099 was one of my most wanted Omnis for years. So yeah, love that standard edition cover. I do too, man. I think that's the one I'm gonna go for. Any word on Doom 2099? Not yet, but I hope so. Is the World War Hulk Omnibus getting a reprint anytime soon? It will not be this year. Maybe next year. There's your hint number one. Old dudes are raising their walkers. Shut up. They're throwing out their bags over this Ramen Micronaut stuff. You'll get there one day when I announce a Ren and Stimpy Omnibus or Beavis and Butthead Omnibus or whatever you grew up with. We all get old. I mean, it beats the alternative, that's for sure. May 2024. Let's move on to this. Oh my gosh, that cover. I love that cover.
Yep.
And I think that cover is going to be the one that most people go for. And that's the one that's going to be gone.
Oh, 100%.
I think that Patrick Gleason cover, because it's direct market.
Yeah.
So it's already going to have a smaller print run, will be the one that it sells out before it goes to like actual retail.
Before we get them, they're going to be out of print. 100%. Yeah.
All right. So Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2. I know I've already announced this one. This one was, I think, moved from October of 2023, and now it is coming out in May of 2024. Again, not canceled, just resolicited. Yeah. Wrapping up this era of Nick Spencer's run. So it's crazy that we got Beyond before we got this, though, because Beyond takes place after this era. So I'm happy that
after, as in like it lines up, could be I know it's not volume 3, but it lines up like that, or it's further down a little bit.
Well, after volume 2 immediately comes Beyond, and then we get the Zeb Wells era. Yeah. So, yes, this is the new schedule, Tom. So if you thought this was, I think, originally scheduled for October, but now it's been moved. Omar, on a scale of 1 through 5, how would you rate Grant Morrison on Batman? I plan on getting the 3 Omnis. Oh, my gosh. Volume 1, 5. Volume 2, 3.5. Volume 3, 4.5. That's my god honest rating. I love Volume 1. I thought it started so good with the whole mystery, with the introduction of Damian. The artwork, Volume 2 gets a little trippy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you almost have to read Final Crisis to appreciate Volume 2 more.
I was just gonna say that. I really was, yeah.
Captain America by Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2. So collecting the Sam Wilson era, wrapping up that era, and the Steve Rogers era, and then when they both combine for Captain America number 25. This is another book that also shows a lot of hope for them collecting Devil's Reign in the Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky omnibus, because this collects Secret Empire 0 through 10, which was previously collected in an oversized hardcover, but now it is back in omnibus form. So wrapping up that era, Nick Spencer gets 2 volumes, and not the only Captain America book I announced, one that I've been wanting for a long time. New printing, we'll come back to those in a little bit. Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson, Omnibus Volume 2. This is another book that people have told me has moved out of the schedule, so I promise I will double check. I know they're working hard to get the schedule right. Omar, why has it taken so long to get a Cap by Wade reprint? The old binding is terrible. I agree with that. I had to fix my old binding. And my video is actually me fixing my brother's binding of his copy. This brings up a really good question. Why is it taking so long? Before this crazy guy in his basement was making videos and contacted Marvel really had no way of knowing what was out of print. They would just see books. Like, there was a guy that used to work for the team that would show them, hey, this book is going for like $400 on eBay. Maybe reprint it. And that's how they would reprint stuff. And it would be like, I'm sure people remember here, some of y'all that have been collecting for a while, they would reprint 2 books a year. 2 books a year. And it was usually the same books over and over again.
New X-Men one.
New X-Men was one.
You get that always, man. It's like the only time it's been out of print. So it's coming back.
But since, and I'm not tooting my own horn, I swear, because it's up to you all. But since we've kind of come in here and had a really good relationship with Marvel, we do a poll every year. and you all vote for that, and they take that to heart. Last year, they reprinted everything but one book from that list. They reprinted all but one Epic collection too. So there just was no interest in that book, unfortunately, or high enough, right? Because you'll have so many new people collecting these things every year, and new people always want. I get it, because anytime I get new into collecting something like some kind of figures or video games, I want to go back and get the first ones, but they're out of print.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had a magical place where I can go and share my voice as to what needs to be reprinted, of course I'm going to vote for those same things. So, okay, but rest assured, Captain America by Mark Waid did get voted into the poll this year in the top 20. So, and that was already shared with Marvel. So Captain Marvel, this finishes out Kelly Thompson's run. Somebody asked me if I could ask about Anna Cinti's 4-issue miniseries to be added in there, and I don't know if they. I mean, I'll be happy to ask if enough people want, but I don't know if they will or not. Incredible Hulk by Casey and Byrne Omnibus. This is one of those gap fillers. I love these type of books. And this one was moved from November, but now it's here. So this takes place before the Paul Jenkins Dogs of War, before the Bruce Jones, and immediately after the Peter David Volume 4 Omnibus.
And it's not something I'm going to collect. You just got to be so happy to be filling those gaps right there. Like, I was concerned what they were going to do with those 6 issues there at the end of Incredible Hulk. But
this is absolutely for anybody that collects 100%. Incredible Hulk, or anybody that, loves to see their library grow, and seeing gap fillers like this, whether you collect Hulk or not, gives us hope that they'll do gap fillers for every freaking series that you've ever wanted. So one day you can look at your shelf and be like, this is all of Incredible Hulk. You might be an old man by then, or an old lady. So new printing.
There's a lot of those.
New printing. Oh, yeah, baby. They're coming. Because I haven't announced any outside of Clone Saga and Ben Reilly Volume 2.
Right.
Unfortunately, Star Wars The Legends of Rebellion Volume 2 got moved, but it is coming.
Man, those are both killer covers.
Oh, no. I got to go with Boba Fett, dude. Although Vader looks killer, but that Boba Fett is awesome.
I'm a Vader guy, man. More for you.
Omar, hold on a second. Omar, what are the odds we ever get a Hulk by Mantlo and Buscema omnibus with ROM issue? As far as ROM, for anybody that's wondering, like, what about issues of ROM, like from Power Man and Iron Fist, or the Hulk issue with ROM? What Marvel has told me is like the only place to get it right now would be in the omnibus format. There's no talk of epics. There's no talk of adding those issues in epic formats for the titles of Hulk or Power Man. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to tell you, go out and buy it, or because you're never going to get a chance to get these books in any other format. But I also don't want to lie and say, oh, they're coming in epic format and they're going to be adding those issues to the Hulk omnibus. So as far as ROM, Bill Mantlo's run on Hulk, I'm sure will come. I mean, outside of, because they're done with Peter David's run. Outside of Peter David's run, I think the next big run to do would be Bill Mantlo's run. They can do that probably in 2 Omnis. XMEN 2099. This book has been moved so many times. I believe the last time it was moved, it was in December of 2099 or 2023. And now it's been moved to May. Still coming. Moving on to June. Heck yeah, baby. New Warriors. Not my favorite era. Not going to lie, not my favorite era. But I'm glad that we get to wrap up this era of New Warriors. This is the 90s era. By now, Fabian is gone. By now, Derek Robertson is gone. Patrick Searcher has come in as the new artist. It was a solid artist. I really like that issue 75 cover. Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley Omnibus Volume 1. The most requested Spider-Man Omnibus. Surprising. It shows a couple things. Our age. People are my age that grew up with this era are now the one with the biggest voices. So yay for us. In 10 years time, we're not going to be obsolete, but the voices are going to be different. They're going to be demanding other things, but for now it's our time, baby. Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley Omnibus Volume 1. Very excited for this one. Seeing a Volume 1 in there gives me a little bit of hope that maybe I don't know yet, they might include all of Maximum Carnage in the second volume, and you can still keep your Spider-Man versus Venom Omnibus as a Venom Omnibus Volume 0. So
I got a sealed copy of that poster at my house.
I don't even know what that you got. What?
I've got a sealed copy of this poster.
Oh, there's my buddy Spider. I'm so glad you're here, Aaron. Every time I talk about Spider-Man, I always reminds me of my buddy Aaron. who's the biggest Spider-Man fan. Sorry, now I'm reading. This is old people's time. Okay, we're not that old, Bar. You'll have your time. You'll have your time. Venom, this was the undercover. So this was the cover on the actual book itself of Spider-Man versus Venom. But now they're using it as a dust jacket. And I don't know if it's going to be wraparound, so you get like Spider-Man's crotch on your spine, or if it's going to be like a landscape or widescreen format, like the Thor by Jason Aaron.
Or New Mutants too.
Or New Mutants 2 with that Arthur Adams artwork.
Yeah. I like that they did it that way.
But Wolverine, I mean, you saw the cover of Wolverine Volume 4. That has a, like, Fatal Attractions covers a wraparound
You're
cover.
right.
So they might do it either way. Or one way. So I'm still waiting on Totally Spies. I know you are, Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you? 90 says, when I got back into comics after many years out, so it works for me too. My man, that's right, baby. Anyone else miss Maddie and Tina? What? Wow. Justin, ouch, shots fired. I could get Tina. Omnibus coming out in June. Haven't announced that one yet. That video has been made for a couple of months now, though. I just waiting on blessings. Star Wars Legends, the New Republic Omnibus Volume 2. So this is another one that was previously announced for, I believe, December, if I'm not mistaken. And now it's been moved to June of 2024. My most wanted Captain America Omnibus, and a lot of people's, Mark Grunwald finally getting some love in omnibus format. This is a big book, too. I mean, if you look at the collection here, I mean, this has over 50 issues collected in here. And it's got, I'm so glad that they did not make this as a direct market cover. I was worried this would be the direct market cover, and rightly so. But the direct market cover, this would have made hard for everybody to get. Or it's just an amazing cover by Mike Zeck. But Captain America by Mark Grunwald, Volume 1. And D-Man, baby! D-Man makes it on the cover. That's crazy. And yes, you even have the...
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I'm so glad this is coming. You have the beginning of the Scourge saga in here. Yeah, so collecting all those issues of Captain America. My most wanted Captain America Omnibus is finally coming out.
You probably mentioned this in your announcement video, but I think it's super nice that you're going to get something like this. You don't have to wait for them to do 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, this is an example we're doing these.
Yeah, this would
creator-centric makes sense.
Right. And I always mention that when people ask my genuine opinion, I'm like, okay, should I wait for the Mark Grunwald volume to come eventually?
Right.
Absolutely, you can wait. But it all depends on how long you're willing to wait. Like, are you willing to wait 6 years until they get to, and I'm just, 6, man, it might be like
more, maybe
8 years before they get to Mark Grunwald. Are you willing to wait that long? Or do you want him now? Well, so it gives you the option of getting them now or waiting. So,
and I don't know this for a fact or not, but I don't know if they're going to go through the same Remasterworks process in this that they will once they get to the Masterworks. So, like, perhaps there will be more incentive to buy the reprint by then because it will actually be a new scans and everything.
It will have new scans and it will have the letter pages.
Oh, right, that too. So there you go.
So I mean, it does give you an incentive to rebuy, but it really depends on how big of a fan you are of this era. And like I said, I'm just giving my honest opinion when it comes to these things. The same thing I've been asked about Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 6. Mm-hmm. Like, if people are going to buy it, should they buy it? And I'm like, yeah, if you really like just Claremont Uncanny, that's all you get out of that. You won't be getting X Factor in those issues. So if you want to keep your Mutant Massacre, but what you'll get out of those issues is, of course, the letter pages and then the new masters that they're using for the Masterworks. So I think they'll make a Volume 2. Absolutely. There's no way that this doesn't sell. I don't know if it's going to sell as well as Peter David's Hulk, but I think it's, based on people my age that grew up with this stuff, I think it will sell enough. And Mark Grunwald's widow hit me up. She sent me a beautiful message, and she's like, I got this announcement, right around Mark's birthday, so this is such a nice little thing they're doing. And I'm actually going to have her on the show talking about like the bullpen and all that era. So
that's cool.
Omar, letter pages on. Okay, Curtis. All right, let's go to July, and then we'll go back to each volume, and we can talk about this stuff. I wish you would do hypothetical omnibus mapping videos. I do love making those. but a lot of that has to do with how much fun I have with my friends doing them. Because doing them by myself could be fun, but it's so much more fun when I get other people involved. And right now, Peter's taking a break. So once he is ready to come back, I will be happy to do it. Our era is the best music in comics. I love that. Shots fired there, Johnny.
I listen to your music and I read your books. What you talking about, man?
My man. All right, Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus. This is one that a lot of people have been wanting.
Yeah, this is be up there too with the
I got a nice message from Chip when I announced this. And I right away asked him, I'm like, is there going to be a Zdarsky Omnibus cover? And he was like, I don't have the time to do one, but I am helping design this cover right here. So this cover right here was supposed to be for the first Daredevil hardcover, but they decided to use another one. So I'm glad that they actually get to use it here. That's a little behind the scenes. Always an instigator. Come back when we in a little bit when I talk about this book, and we'll write that down. Omar, did you see that Chip posted the trade dress he designed on his newsletter for the standard cover? No, I didn't. Oh no, I did. He sent me a copy of it, so that was really cool. Melanie looks and sounds different.
So that that Japanese water, man, will do that to you.
Bring in Omnidog, Peter, and Maddie, and the whole gang. Omnidog for mapping videos? I love my buddy Jess, but he hates mapping things. like he hates mapping videos. Like the idea of them. And yes, Zdarsky's officially a volume 1. Volume 2 will wrap up his era. And I assume they're going to include Devil's Reign.
I think I asked you this on last time you had me on. Devil's Reign would theoretically go between like a 1 and 2, right?
It will be towards the beginning of volume 2.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
House of M Omnibus Companion. A lot of people have been asking about this one. This is the one that confuses me a little bit. This was originally when I announced it was going to come out in December of 2023, and now it's been moved to July of 2024. And the reason I said it's confusing because it's like a prelude and then an aftermath. So you kick it off with the prelude of Excalibur 8 through 14, not the original Excalibur series by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis, but this is the return of Chris Claremont. Who was drawing it at the time? Oh, was it Aaron Lepresti, I think, was drawing it at the time? But it's that particular series where they get Scarlet Witch after the Avengers Disassemble storyline. And then you have the aftermath with New Avengers with the collective story. So it's kind of a mixed batch. And then you have stuff in here from the Secret Wars era, the What If stuff, the House of M era that were written years after the original House of M. But
would you have mapped it differently? Like, would you have broken it up and had them in separate books?
I'll tell you what I would have done.
Yeah.
And this is just me. I would have done a House of M prelude, included all of Excalibur. And then I would have done a Decimation storyline.
As opposed.
But a companion makes sense because it's got all the miniseries. Because if I did a Decimation, the miniseries wouldn't fit in there. Because the miniseries take place during the time of House of M. So you have to have a place for them. So in a way, I think they're just sneaking these stories in there.
Just to get them in there.
Yeah. New printing of a new omnibus, not a new omnibus, but a reprint of a book. It's like, you want to know what a companion is? Bar, it's like you read the stories in House of M, and if you want more House of M, you read the companion. New printing and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Whew, moved all the way to July. I believe this one was originally scheduled for December. Yeah, December 2023. But it's still coming. Kicking off the era of Brand New Day. So immediately after JMS Volume 2, if you're keeping tabs on reading orders, this is where the book fits in. So this is before the Nick Spencer era. It's before Superior Spider-Man. It is right after the JMS Volume 2, which is out of print. And I think you all voted for that one to be in our, and that one made it in our top 20. So this one here is during the brain trust of Spider-Man. You had people like Mark Waid, Dan Slott, Bob Gale, who wrote Back to the Future. I love that movie. Wasn't the greatest Spider-Man storyteller, though, unfortunately. Mark Guggenheim was the writer on some of these. So you had like 4 or 5 people writing Spider-Man, and it was coming out weekly. So one of these unannounced reprints is a Joe Kelly Omnibus Deadpool. Are these reprints the Amazon leaks? Those Amazon leaks are a little off, by the way, because I already know of one that they decided to push back. And I've got, I think, 10 announcements I haven't made yet. It sucks, but it's okay. Oh, that's right. Zeb Wells was the other person on the Brain Trust. And I think that's the way I feel about a lot of the delays. It does suck, but at least they're not canceled, right? They are coming. Is there any chance of getting a Marvel Transformers or G.I. Joe Omnibus release? A lot of that depends on the pre-orders of, I'm just going to go out and say it. A lot of that depends on the pre-orders of ROM and Micronauts. And that's all I can say without going too much into detail or getting into trouble. So that's the answer that you're looking for. Omar, you forgot about... No, I did not forget about Totally Spies. 10 announcements of just reprints and then 2 unannounced new Omnis for this particular round of announcements.
And you said out of the 10 reprints, maybe just like 2 of them weren't on the top 20?
Yeah.
So you're talking almost half that list is guaranteed to be getting reprinted.
Yes.
Man, they do right by us. They really do.
That's why I tell people to vote.
Yeah,
like every year. It helps them a lot to find out what needs to be reprinted, and it helps you all get the books that you want.
Such a good ecosystem we got.
Any chance for Planet of the Apes black and white magazine on this? That's a tough one, man.
That one sell.
No bueno. I the restoration alone on that cost an arm and a leg. That's why that book was $100. So unfortunately, that might be a while. They may want to step back from the Planet of the Apes. So Transformers Skybound is different. Transformers Skybound is the deal for new stuff. Nothing about Marvel is in that contract. Just to clarify what's going on. Now, of course, that they could pay an arm and a leg to get the Marvel stuff, but then they have to work out licensing issues. What's up, baby?
I just finished it.
Oh, so good.
I'm putting it up.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I really liked it. I highly recommend it.
Melanie, if people want to pre-order these books, where can they pre-order from if they live in Europe?
Bolt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ting!
All right, there you go. So yes, they're based out of Berlin, Germany, and flat rate shipping of €12 for all EU countries. Emails answered within 24 hours. They have a wide array of out-of-print books, and you can use the code NEARMINTCON at the checkout for free shipping for all EU countries. Your first order of over €40 or more. Look at that segue, baby.
That was good.
That was a good segue. All right, Star Wars Legends Tales of the Jedi Omnibus. Another book that was supposed to come out in December, but has been moved until July.
So are they getting close to having most of the extended universe reprinted in omnibus form? There's a lot, but I'm not.
Dude, but keep in mind though, there's like 40 Star Wars epics though for just I think Dark Horse alone.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot of.
No, wait. No, they have more than that. Oh my gosh, no. Wait, I'm just counting. I want to say, dude, they have like 80 epics for just Star Wars Dark Horse era. It's a lot. So. X Factor, the original X-Men Omnibus Volume 1, for the people wondering why didn't they add those in the Uncanny X-Men Volume 5, and the answer is because, yeah, it's going to be its own thing. These classic books are going to be their own thing. Unless it's an event like Mutant Massacre, Fall of the Mutants, you're not going to find issues of X Factor in Uncanny X-Men Volume 6. It's not until Volume 7 when you get into the Inferno Saga that you're going to see issues of X Factor. And again, you're going to be double dipping because those issues will be found in the Inferno Omnibus, which is an event omnibus, and that's the way you should treat them from now on. So, all right, why did I commit to buying all these Star Wars Omni? There's so many, but at least you're getting a little break in between. They're not coming out every month. Yeah. So, they're amazing. I've been there last year, and they are the nicest people. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you went there.
To where?
Waltz has a physical shop in Berlin.
Dude, Waltz is the man.
He's good people
on social media.
This is another retailer talking nicely about another retailer. I love that.
Yeah, he's
good deal. Dark Horse did have the Star Wars license for 23 years. Lots of material. Absolutely. The original
time.
So this is the part that bothers me, and we can come back and talk about it in depth when I wish I had just called it X Factor the Classic Era or X Factor Volume 1, because by the time you get to Peter David, they are no longer the original X-Men.
Yeah, right.
So what are you going to do when you get to Volume 4 of the series? You got to rebrand the Peter David stuff to Volume 4, and you can't keep calling it the original X-Men because by that point you have Havoc, Polaris, Strong Guy, Rain, Wolfsbane. But let's this is the recap right here.
Oh, wow.
If you want to take a screenshot of that. Oh, sorry. Let me highlight Warren's amazing commentary pass. Warren's an ultimate Spider-Man guy, but he has some good taste in other stuff though. I think his manga taste is good too. Okay. So this is a quick recap if you want to take a screen grab, and I'm going to go back to the very beginning and we can talk about each of these books. And actually, let's go here. Okay. So we're going to talk about each of these books one by one and seeing if you all need anything added. So this is Black Panther by Christopher Priest, collecting the remaining issues of Black Panther. 34 through 62, Incredible Hulk 33, The Crew 1 through 7, which I'm glad is in there, and Thor 370. So if you think anything needs to be added, by all means, please let me know.
How do you feel since you're such a big Christopher Priest Black Panther fan?
This is perfect.
I love it.
No, you did not. That is coming out in January, and I'm only focusing on February to July of 2024. So January 2024 is when you're seeing the JMS Thor. Okay. So that keep that in mind. Are you running through reprints? I may give a hint here and there as to what's being reprinted. So, I want Black Panther Reggie Hudlin Omnibus. Well, I can't add that in here, but yes, I do too. And Reggie Hudlin's run is so easy to get into, and I know like a lot of people want it. It's John Romita Jr., of course, on artwork. That one would probably take 2 on because it's got the whole Storm wedding in there too. So many books moved out of 2023. Are we getting any new reprints this year? Yes, I think I've already announced those. Are they going to wait? That can't be added in here. Wade's Fantastic Four. Did that get voted in our top 20? I can't remember.
Do you think you voted for getting the top 20? I didn't, unfortunately.
No. Tomb of Dracula never gets in the top 20.
Yeah, that's really high.
I've been voting for that book for 4 years. Omar, can you please ask I
thought you were clicking it as a joke.
That's bait. That's bait. What is wrong with you, Roy? I know this is January Omnibus, but for Judgment Day, could you write down asking Legion X issue 6 being added? It's pretty big and omitted. Okay. Actually, let's do that really quick. Let's just start the list here. All right, Johnny, you are in charge of writing that down. So write January, Day of Judgment. Oh my gosh, I've actually got... You need to stay and live here. Every time I ask Melanie to do this, she gets me to write it down. I got you. Like, I'm not your secretary.
I am.
Judgment Day, and then add Legion. Somebody else was asking about that yesterday.
Legion what?
Legion X number 6.
Got it.
We'll start with that. Thank you for that. Okay, and let's keep on rocking. Walt's Comic Shop. Actually, let's do this here. Let's stop sharing for a second, and actually, let's yeah, let's do this. Okay. So I think this one is good.
Cool.
Oh, you got the shirt when you climb Mount Fuji? Same, brother. Same.
Wait, did you actually climb Mount?
Dude, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not bad at all. Like people say we're not talking about Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvel February 1964 Omnibus. I don't think anybody wants anything added to this one because I think this is everything from that particular month. So we're gonna pass on this one. Official handbook of the Marvel Universe. We already know there's gonna be a volume 2. So no need to add anything because the series, this is half of the books. So the new printing. All right. When I announced this one, this is the one that I went back with David back and forth for like a week trying to get the title changed. And I was trying to get the title changed so it could be a future volume of a series. And they kept coming back with like reasons why. At first he was like, I'm on the fence about it. Let me sleep on it. And then his team, him and his team decided to keep the title as an event title. So when I announce it, you'll know what I'm talking about because I wanted this to be, like I said, a future volume of a title, but they wanted to keep it an event because that future title, so that's the good news, they've already mapped out. So when I announce it, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but that's my only hint about that. Spider-Man Ben Reilly Omnibus, nothing really I can add here because this is a straight up reprint.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts Red Omnibus. I don't know. Is there anything that could be added in here outside of the? But that's not really a red team. I was thinking of that. The Malin era, the not Zeb Wells. The oh my gosh, what's his name? Guy that's writing Conan right now. Jim Zub, the Jim Zub era. But that's not really Thunderbolts Red. So that's, yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah, Jim Zub wrote it for about 12 issues and he got canceled, but that's not really a red era. Maybe I'll give this Thunderbolts a series shot for Elektra. Yeah, if you like Elektra. Ultimate X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. This is another one I don't think needs anything added, but by all means, if y'all can think of something, let us know. We'll be happy to add it on here.
Those are all released in OHCs, right? Probably just putting those together. For
Spider-Man Brand New Day, can Marvel extend to $5.91 with Amazing Spider-Man Extra number 3? That way it collects the material in the first 3. I can ask, but I'm pretty sure for that they're going to say no because they already have it mapped out. But I'll be happy to ask Aaron. Let me actually write that down. Un momentito. How do I'm just going to copy it. Yeah. Where is it from Aaron? We should add something to new printing. No, I can't do that. Gosh, so many comments coming in. Okay, here we go. This is just a straight up copy and paste. Okay. Got that down. Okay. So nothing added on here for Ultimate Spider-Man volumes or Ultimate X-Men. Sorry. It's already going to be a thick boy. Are they thinking of separate volumes for Ultimate Marvel Team Up? What was that? 12 issues, right? Probably reprinting the oversized hardcover. Yeah.
What's left for the Ultimate Universe? They haven't started an Omnibus Fantastic Four. Is that about it? Or has that been announced?
Ultimate Fantastic Four. Yeah, that would be the big one.
Yeah, okay.
And then more Ultimates, like Ultimates 3, Ultimatum.
Right.
That stuff collected in one book. All right. Moving on to March. So let's find out. Captain America Omnibus Volume 4. I don't think anybody wants anything added to this because they don't want to rebuy it.
Is it is the Foom 11 material from in the Kirby one? Yeah.
It's the exact same material as the latest printing.
Okay.
The original printing didn't have Foom.
Oh, and did you say earlier when we were passing this, did you say the original printing did not have the letters pages?
The original printing didn't. The second printing did.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
And this will.
Right. Okay.
Because, dude, let me tell you something. The second printing was a nightmare to look at those letters.
Why?
Because everybody was hating on Jack Kirby.
Crap about Kirby. You're right. I remember that now. Yes.
They were like trolling Jack Kirby about getting rid of Red Wing. They're like, don't you know how to draw a bird? Jack Kirby's too, like, imagine being on imagine being on Twitter, and that's what it feels like. Twitter and like social media, people were just, and then Jack Kirby looking at all these letters that were coming in. I think a lot of it had to do with the editor at the time not being a fan of Jack Kirby and just printing.
I can't believe they printed those ones. Yeah, they had to be getting other stuff.
Those they were trolls long before the internet, my friend. Moon Knight, Mark Spector Omnibus Volume 2. This is the one that I think people wanted something added. Does anybody watching here right now add 250 just to troll everyone? Oh my god, no. No. We're not. I can't do that. That would be horrible. So, yes, the terrible Jack the Hack era where comic fans didn't know the greatness they were reading. The King deserved better. And it broke his heart. I mean, he left comics to go do animation after that. He was done. He was done.
I mean, Captain America's like his guy, dude. Yeah. Pride and joy.
Omar, please add X Factor 1 through 8 to the Moon Knight Omni, so I don't have to buy X Factor Volume 1 and double. That's ridiculous. Omar, what about Stormbreaker, the Saga Beta Ray Bill? Didn't they add that already? Please correct me if I'm wrong. In the latest solicitation video, I think they add. Give me 1 second, brother. How am I gonna do this? Thank you for sending me an email. By the way, if I'm not catching your comment, send me an email at nearmintcon@gmail.com. Marvel can add Black Panther. I will be happy to ask about that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to actually copy that and put it on the master list. Thank you so much for emailing me about that. We'll ask about that annual being added in there. What is this? Okay, so let's keep on going. Omar, Batman Long Halloween. It was the Moon Knight stuff, right? It was the Marvel Knight stuff that people wanted added. So is this Hickman's Ultimate Omni done? Then will they add his new for it? I don't know if they will or not. I can always ask, and I did ask about Ultimate Invasion, and they said no. That's one that they did say no to. So let me know if there's anything else. Oh, somebody's asking about Omar, Long Halloween versus Planet Hulk story, which is the best? Because I'm going to buy one tomorrow. Get Long Halloween. It's great. That's your favorite Batman story. We need a stream like this for DC upcoming releases. Yeah, I mean, I could do that and email them. I could do that and email them and then get ignored.
I was going to say, do they even respond to you?
They respond to me twice a year.
All right.
But I guess I'm patient. I can wait. What comes after Black Panther, the early years? You would still need the Richard Donner, the Don McGregor era of Black Panther. So taking you into the Marvel Comics Presents the 90s stuff. Okay, I'm not seeing. And if you can think of something, please email me later. I'll be happy to add it to the master list. Committed to Moon Knight and Epics, but happy to see this in Omni format. We need pencils and ink pages of every one of Splat. I love that Splat is getting a lot of love. Like, that's great. Best thing about Long Halloween is that it's replaced I hate that. Why would you mention that, Mr. Awesome? That's not awesome of you. About adding the other miscellaneous ROM appearances to the ROM Omni. Well, they will come with future ROM announcements. Needs to be added to MK Omni. What needs to be added? Marvel Knights number 5. Thank you. That was it. Okay. Is that the only one that needs to be added in there? And if so, I'm going to go ahead and write that in there. If somebody thinks of something else, I'll be happy to add it later. You're supposed to be doing this.
You didn't hand me the keyboard.
I'm micromanagement.
Spelled Spectre wrong.
I don't. Okay. Got it in there. All right, let's move on to the next new printing. Did I have a hint for this one? This is in our top 20. That's your hint. Predator, the original years. Is this the one that you all wanted the Race War miniseries added to?
How long is that mini for?
Are you going to do an overview of the new Luke Cage Omnibus? There's a new Luke Cage.
Which? No, that's not true.
Maybe you're thinking of another character. Oh, you're talking about the Thunderbolts Uncaged? Of course I will. I hope it will lead to AVP. Yes, unless they have plans to put Predator or Alien. Is it Alien Race War? Is that what you all wanted? Well, I can't remember. Yes, all of Dixon's Marvel Knights should be added to Moon Knight. He did write Moon Knight, but Moon Knight doesn't appear in every issue, though. And it is a Moon Knight omnibus. One day, a Black Widow modern omnibus be one of these streams. Amen. Are you praying? I'm sure it will. I want that too, Bar. I want that too. How many uncanny X-Men Omnis do you think there will be to cover Claremont's run?
8 or 9, I think.
1 through, well, you got to keep like Days of Future Present in there, Extinction Agenda. 6 will be Massacre, Fall of the Mutants. Inferno will be 7. That will take you to the that's the Outback era. 7, 8, 9. I think, yeah, you're right. 9.
I've thought about it.
All right, Predator, Race War, no aliens in sight. So if it's not in there, it's not reprintable for some reason. Okay, I will ask about Predator, Race War 4-issue miniseries then. Thank you for that. 2. I love doing these streams because you all make it so much easier for me to keep up with what people want. I think it was missing from the first omnibus, so people were worried that they won't do it. So, Spider-Man Clone Saga, straight up reprint. So, how long have you known about a Civil War? I don't know about a Civil War Omni. I'm sure that will come, by the way. That yellow spider guy. What's up, man? How are you? Bard does make a solid point. We get maybe 1 female written Omni every year. It does feel pretty uneven. But keep in mind, though, like, this is just logic. There's not that many lady writers out there. they're starting to come. Like, I mean, we got Kelly Thompson, you know, blowing up big at Marvel, and oh my gosh, I cannot wait for her Secret Six or Suicide Squad. Is it Secret Six or she doing Suicide Squad? That was Secret Six. Birds of Prey. That's what she's doing. But it's like, I mean, if you think about it, it's like 1 in every like 50 writers is a lady. So it's not like they have a lot to grab from. I mean, we got Anna Senti and Louise Simonson. Louise Simonson's getting her X Factor Omnibus, and that's just the classic era. I will say, compared to back then when I was reading comics as a kid, there's a lot more.
Marie Severin never wrote, right? She was just an artist.
Yeah, Marie Severin was the main artist. I mean,
okay.
But it's not like they have ever done a gallery edition or anything. Just focus on her art. But
I would dig that. She's one of my favorite Captain America covers ever.
She was great.
Great, yeah.
Ultimate Marvel by Jonathan Hickman Omnibus. Okay, this is the one I'll be happy to ask. Are you all asking for Ultimate Invasion again? I can ask, but I think they've already told me no.
That guy's gonna be kind of thin, right? Fucking 8, 20, 24 issues.
Well, it did continue after he left the book, too. All right, let me see what you all want. This is where some people were suggesting Shield, but I don't know if that will work or not because that's 8 issues. The Ultimate Invasion. Golly, that's a big gap in years, though. 2011 to 2023. Oh, I would love a Tyrone Grombeck Valkyrie Omnibus. That lady, she gets it. Like, she gets it done. She's an awesome writer. No, I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not gonna have Ultimate Invasion will be its own thing in 2 years. This is what I thought, and that's why they said no to me. Do you all want me to ask about? No, I'm not adding no Ultimates by Loeb. This is years afterwards, because keep in mind, Ultimates by Loeb fits into after Ultimates 2 and Ultimate Avengers. So Shield. All right, I will try. Well, let's see. I mean, worst they say is no. Or are you crazy?
They've never canceled an omnibus because you tried to get them to change it, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. Then you might.
They're gonna do their own thing, man. It's not like they listen to everything I say. It's like they do their own thing. They're like, no. They may laugh at me and never take me serious again, but no, they've been really nice about it. Like, and it's not like I sit there. Sometimes I do get into it, like, no, this needs to be added because of this and this and this, and that's worked in the past. If I argue long enough about it.
Do they usually give you like a reason though? And like, well, we're not going to do that because.
No, they can't give me a reason.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes they have things in the works that
you can't even know about.
I can't know about. Omar, stop asking for invasion, or I will turn this car around. You got it. What about Secret War and then Ultimate Invasion? If you could remap Secret Invasion Omnibus, how would you map it and what would you add? Secret Invasion?
You just wouldn't have a Secret Invasion. You just have a New Avengers 2, right?
No. I would add the new series that was the Scroll series in there. I would add, I would do that. I would remap it. I would probably take out you need those issues of New Avengers though. Yeah.
But you'd still do a New Avengers 2, right?
Absolutely.
Love it.
Because you need an event omnibus and you need the ongoing series omnibus.
I do like it, to be honest.
Just tell them yes and act like iMac forgot to print out the pages. Omar, my apologies. I watched an Organic Price Books Omnibus overview of a Luke Cage and I assured it was new, but it came out last year and you've done an overview already. Oh, it's okay, man. I thought you meant like the Thunderbolts Uncaged book. No worries. Okay, moving on to X Factor by Peter David Omnibus Volume 3. This is already mapped perfectly, leaving enough room for a Volume 4. So fingers crossed this sells enough. Moving into April, Star Wars. Now, there was something that you all wanted added here. It was a mini series or a one-shot. If anybody that's watching this right now, let me know. What's up, Jake? How are you, brother? Braving the boys in the house. Maybe a complete Secret Wars Omni with all. Oh my gosh, it would take a lot.
Oh wow,
yeah. A different cover. I don't get into covers anymore after that whole Jason Aaron fiasco. Woo!
Weren't you talking to Secret Wars 3 yesterday on your stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic Four. The issues.
Right.
Congratulations on your 1,000 subs, my brother. That is a big achievement. Seriously. I think it took me a year to get to 1,000 subs, so that's a heck of an achievement.
Yeah, first 1,000's tough. The next 1,000 get a little easier, so keep going.
Keep at it, man. Any chance Star Wars OHC Omni that includes Leia, Lando? Oh, that would be cool.
Wow, yeah.
That would be cool because Mark Waid wrote the Leia issues.
Right. That's a good call indeed.
He's better get it. Okay. Outside of covers, wasn't there something else that you all suggested adding? It was like a one-shot, I thought, that people were messaging me about. I can't remember what it is. What was the Jason Aaron fiasco? To kind of give you an idea of what happened when I made the announcement, people weren't happy with the cover, so they were like, you know, Azad Ribbich needs to be the cover artist and Russell Dodderman. So I let Marvel know, and they were like, okay. So they changed the covers, and I made the announcement, here are your new covers, and then people were like, well, yes, that's Azad Ribbich and that is Russell Dodderman, but those aren't the right covers. There are better covers out there. So I let Marvel know, and they were like, okay, here are the covers. And some people were still upset, and that's when I wiped my hands clean of that, because you have to choose your battles when it comes to these things, and covers, unfortunately for me, are not as important as content, if that makes sense. So I don't want to piss people off that, you know, are doing us a solid by reprinting books and adding some books in there. So that's why I kind of wipe my hands clean of like any more of these cover changes. So it's up to them, whatever covers they want to choose. So
hey, you got that
cool.
Uncanny 213, so your work is
dude, I love that book. I love that
my
cover.
favorite Uncanny cover, bro.
I love that cover.
A question.
What's better, the Aaron or Gillen run? I happen to love the Jason Aaron run, but Darth Vader by Gillen is superior. It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best Star Wars I've read.
Let's see. Any chance of what if Star Wars Omnis? Yeah, it was a headache, brother. And it was just something that I just no. Hey, Ron. That's right. Okay, anybody know what I'm talking about here? Like Star Wars Gillen, it was a one shot. Let me know in the email if you're getting an email. Anyway, morning. A bit. What is this? Okay. Who is this? You know, people are telling you like Al Gore flying around. Okay, we'll read that later. If you're watching this later on, shoot me an email. Oh, that was it. The Storms of Crate. That was. Thank you so much, Super Laugh Heart. Nice. So it was two shots though, right? Storms of Crate. That was it. Thank you so much. I'm glad somebody that's watching knows what I was talking about. All right, added that. Excalibur Omnibus Volume 3. Here we go. Yes, but as a business, why even bother listening to people? It's just like they can be like, we're not going to worry about covers. Yeah, so no more of that. Okay, Excalibur 3. Starjammers miniseries, right? Because it was written by Ellis. Anything else?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. X Factor 106, Next Force 38. Those are both Fatal Attractions crossovers, right?
Yes.
So why do they not have like XMEN 25 in here, but they included those?
Do you even near mint? Because those
all the people who don't
remember, even Fatal Attractions was broken up into 3 parts.
I do recall that. Yeah.
So you had the people going after the Phalanx Tower. You had the people that were dealing with Generation X. And then you had the whole Wolverine and Cable crossover. So this is like a third of that
section.
Yeah.
No,
and that's all you really need to read. Let me make sure I go back to the chat and see if anybody's suggesting anything else. Kevin Connor, thank you so much for the super sticker, my brother. Can't wait for Excalibur Volume 3. So will that Joe Mad cover be wraparound? We don't know yet. As soon as I get it, I will let you all know. Could they reproduce the hologram covers? Yes, for $175. I'm not joking. I'm not being a smart ass. I did ask about die cut covers, and I asked about holographic covers, and that was one thing they said, like, if they did that, they would have to up the price. And like I said, I'm not
surprises me.
Yeah, I'm like, my argument was like, it's less paper.
Yeah, you're saving, you recycle that.
And I remember them laughing about it, going, yes, it's less paper, but you have to do more work,
more labor. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You have someone cutting those out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else besides the Starjammers? I think that was it. Excalibur Volume 4 would be the last one because that takes you to 125, and I hope they put in the 4-issue Excalibur 2 miniseries in there. The foil cover is why Dark Knight's metal was 150. Yeah,
Oh,
that's also what
wow.
DC stated too.
Okay, good.
They get expensive, man. I mean, paper, you know.
Yeah.
New printing. This one here is definitely from our top 20 list. New Omnibus. Haven't announced it yet, but really excited to get to announce it soon. Daredevil Omnibus Volume 3. This, I think, I don't think anybody needs maybe anything added to it.
Not that it matters, but are they lining up with the Masterworks? Like I know some of them do. Like, is that the end point of Masterworks 6? Probably.
I would say 7, right?
Maybe. That's my most excited book on this whole list, by the way. Whatever
Really? You got an old heart.
Well, you know, it's more like you've said. It's more the point that like they're going to keep. This means they're going to keep going. So it's not so much about the volume 3. It's that I know I'm getting a volume 5 now. Eventually, you know, that excites me.
The DM variant hologram cover with a higher cover price point. That would be a nightmare for ISBN. So because the ISBN has to be the same.
Well, I would say that local comic shops, not online retailers, already have a hard enough time selling those books at cover price. Increasing them anymore for any reason, I think for those guys would be hard.
Yeah. Daredevil's misaligned with Masterworks. This one goes halfway through volume 6. Wow. Thank you.
Nice.
Do patrons get the Daredevil by Nocenti announcement tonight or Wednesday? That's bait. That's bait, Roy. What are you doing? Micronauts. As much as I want any kind of word in here, this is a Hasbro and Marvel thing. So no, I can't even say a thing about the cover. So moving on. Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus. I think this was mapped great. I don't think it needs anything added. It's got all the stuff from 2014, the 2015 series. It even has the Captain Marvel crossover, and then, or not crossover, but the appearance of Miguel in Captain Marvel. Sorry for being late. What's up, Gabriel? But as a father, they request me to do something. I miss you this last week. Well, I'm glad you're here now. Surely no one's playing full RRP for Omni. I mean, some people don't have a choice. Yeah. If you live overseas, some people don't have a choice. They don't have discounted prices like we do here in
I'll say there is something to supporting the LCS, man. I mean, if you want those to exist in 10 years, going and buying books for full price would make that happen. I mean, even I do that, and I can get them at a discount.
Spider-Man, that's a good point about supporting the local comic book shop. But
yeah, but I get, hey,
everybody likes to
have a
save
budget,
money.
right? I mean, I get
it. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2. I think in the past somebody asked me to add something to this. It could have been what was it?
You know, is it just me, or does the standard cover of this really remind you of the standard cover for Volume 3 of The Amazing Spider-Man? It's like the same.
It was Mike McCone that did that cover, right?
Right. I know it's not the same artist, but it's a very similar like layout. I feel like it's a big Spider-Man jumping.
I just hope they fix the Venom head here.
Oh yeah, it's doubled up. I thought it was just the symbiote kind of.
It's been doubled up for every one of the files they sent me. So
interesting.
Yeah. So Volume 2, I can't remember any news with Hulk Epic with ROM. No, the only just to clarify again, the only way to get those ROM issues right now is to get the ROM Omnibus. They are not. That's all I've been told, and that's exactly what I've been told. That they're not saying there's epics coming, but right now they're focusing on that ROMnibus, if you will. And yes, please don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you so much. That Gleason cover would look good with some silver ink, or you get him to sign it with the silver ink. Man, that's a beautiful cover. I love that cover.
Just in case you haven't seen them, they were second and third printings of that, the single issue with the red and blue cover. If you haven't seen them, check it out, just because they're cool looking.
I think we've got a couple of those. Captain America by Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2, again, wrapping up that series. I think for this one, people asked me if they could add the Captain America by Mark Waid. I already asked about that, and they said no. So I'm sorry. I wish, because that leaves because if you think about it, that would be everything, because that leads into the Ta-Nehisi Coates. And then we would have Captain America, from Rick Remender's era all the way. Oh no, Ed Brubaker, the way to. So all you need is that missing Captain America by Mark Waid and Chris. Is it Chris Samney that drew that? Who drew those issues? I think it was Chris Samney.
You're Captain America's getting close to Daredevil status with like, man, most of it's collected. Like there's a big run. Like you're saying, you're missing one book here, one book there.
Are they going to brand ROM a Romnibus or keep it an Omnibus? The Marvel office keeps calling it a Romnibus. It's unfortunately not for them. Up to them to like, I think it has to be a Hasbro Marvel collab. So whatever they both decide on. Superior had another run and we'll have another soon. Oh yes, I mean, keep in mind Superior has like Team Up, Avenging Spider-Man. It has the Christos Gage era. So I actually talk about it in my overview. What would be in a volume 2, hypothetically. New printing. What will I say about this one? You know, I will say that The Blind Lawyer is getting a lot of love as far as reprints. That's a huge hint right there. She-Hulk. Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson, Omnibus Volume 2. This is the only one that I think, like, people ask me if they could add the Ann Nocenti 4-issue miniseries. Is there anything else that needs to be added to this one? I don't know.
Because that wraps it up, like you were saying.
This
right?
This wraps up everything that she wrote. And that annual's not written by her.
That's a badass TM cover, man.
I actually love both covers.
They're both great. You're right.
I like the standard a little more. Beautiful. Oh my God, Howard the Duck reprint. That's David's favorite character. Will there be a restock or reprint of Aliens Original Years Omnibus Volume 2? It's hard to find.
Oh.
Not that I've heard, but make sure you vote every year. I'm serious.
I know a dude with some.
Oh, Captain Marvel on the left is beautiful. Oh, what is her name? I cannot remember the lady's name that drew. She drew both of the covers. She did the cover art for a lot of the issues. Yeah, I love this. Gives me hope that they'll do a Kelly Thompson like Hawkeye run. This gives me hope that they'll do not Daredevil. I'm sorry, Black Widow by Kelly Thompson, which is like my favorite Black Widow story.
Did they ever reprint that original Black Widow one with a round spine or no?
No, they never did.
Think so.
No, that's one of the
few. Get those
to
come out together.
That's one of the few.
That and She-Hulk, right? Burn.
Amazon Canada spoiled the Daredevil reprints. Well, I kind of spoiled them on our Patreon a while back. Although they only spoiled a couple. They haven't spoiled everything. Anything on XMEN? I love this guy. A man after my own heart. I wish. Carmen Carnero. Thank you so much, my brother. James, thank you for that. And thank you, Martin. That's her name. She is an amazing artist. I really like her stuff. Incredible Hulk by Casey and Byrne Omnibus. Another one that was, I don't think it's missing anything because this leads into Dogs of War, and Dogs of War has like the half issue. So, there we go.
That's just an OHC, right? That was never an actual Omni.
You caught the Patreon slip. That's because I think I left it when I went to Japan. I didn't check on Patreon for like a week, and I'm like, oh crap, whoops.
I didn't look hard enough. I won't lie.
You
fixed it since?
It's fixed, but they all know what it is.
I'll have to ask them.
And then I think they talked about it on Discord. So yes, we do have a Patreon. It starts at $1 a month if you want to join that. And I think at the $5 tier, you get access to our Discord and you can chat about everything that I've announced. It's a good place to keep things from leaking out. When will we officially find out what the reprints will be? I am filming those this week. So in the next coming week or two is when all that stuff, plus the new Omnis. So this is another new printing. This is another one that is from our top 20. Actually, let me give you a hint about this one. Let's see. What's that?
Okay.
Yes. That way and to the right. You get it. Yep. Let's see the tentative list that I eventually got from David. But that was another one that got changed, unfortunately. So for the hint for this one, what can I say about this particular book? So follow up to a reprint that we did that came out this year. So yeah, that's all I can say about this one. It's a follow up to a reprint that came out this year. Star Wars Legends Rebellion. I think this one is good. XMEN 2099 Omnibus. They added X Nation again, so that's a plus. And I think that was it. A Man Without Hope. I don't know what it is. Shadowland Brubeck, you all voted for it. It's in our top 20, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. There's a lot out there that won our top 20. New Warriors Classic Omnibus Volume 3. It's good. As a New Warriors guy, I didn't see anything they could add outside of the New Warriors Volume 2, and that could be its own thing. Oh my gosh, one day. Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley Omnibus Volume 1. I think there was a graphic novel that people wanted that added in there. And if you all could remind me of what that is, that would be awesome. I don't think Music and Press Volume 2 made it in our top 20, unfortunately. Maybe it did. I can't recall. Anybody remember the graphic novel to add to this one? When are we getting Al Ewing Omnibus collecting Ultimates in the one short runs? I would love that. Big fan of Al Ewing, and I'm glad he's finally getting his due with Incredible or his Immortal Hulk. So I'm hoping his Ultimates will get some kind of love in a big omnibus. Give me mediocre tier Fantastic Four Volume 5. So guessing the DM cover might not be. I don't know. Fatal Attractions Wolverine Omnibus Volume 4 is a wraparound cover, so I don't know what they're going to do with this one. I would add New Warriors Volume 2 Omnibus with Eric Larson's Nova. Yeah, the Volume 3?
Your preferred method would be that they include the Maximum Carnage in Volume 2, right?
Yeah, but it being Michelini and Bag, I don't know if they will or not, honestly.
I'm just going to be shocked if they don't.
Michelle shows the DM cover for New Warriors could have been backwards, or is it them? I don't know. I haven't checked Amazon. Sentinel Liberty will be in one omnibus, and what would they call it? Cold War Omnibus? That is a good question. How would they include that? Oh, it did make it to the list. Good. Thank you for that, Kane. So there we go. Fear Itself. Thank you. Thank you. Terry. The good news is that Volume 1 is being reprinted. So, and now that we got Daredevil 2 and 3 Silver Age, there's hopes that we'll get more of that Iron Man.
You have not announced a Volume 2 reprint, right?
Of what?
Of Iron Man?
No.
Nor
Thor.
Oh, but that's got to come because the new spines, and they've already... That's how I feel, at least.
I don't know, brother.
I got no inside info.
No, you do not.
No, I really don't.
Fear Itself. That was it. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and add that in here.
What do you like more, man? Venom or Carnage?
Oh, Carnage.
Really?
Love Carnage, man. It's the Joker.
It is yeah.
He kills for no reason. I don't need an understanding why somebody. Like, I hate when they give characters too much background as to why they are the way they are.
Someone's just crazy and want to kill.
I just like the Joker didn't really need an origin.
Right.
Even though Killing Joke's one of my favorite Batman stories. New printing. It's another one of that blind lawyer I was talking about. And that's all I will say.
Wow.
New Omnibus. This is one that I'm sure a lot of people have figured out already what it was, but that announcement I think comes in a week and a half. Star Wars Legends: The New Republic Omnibus Volume 2. Cannot wait for this. This has my favorite Star Wars comic, and that is The Dark Empire.
Sorry, this cat's got a good point up here with the Spirits of Earth by Charles Vess, although it's not Bagley and Michelini, right? So that's why they wouldn't put it in, but it's just going to be vacant unless you have epics then, right?
It's going to be vacant until you get to that era in Volume 10 or Volume 11.
That's past that, really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, Spirits of Earth, that's the follow-up to the that's the Charles Vess one.
Yeah. Are you thinking of the Hunter one?
Yeah. What was that one called?
Yeah, Rebirth of the Hunter, something like that.
So
it's
those
not right, but something like
those
that.
Those aren't Michelini nor Bagley, but I can ask about Spirits of the Earth. Let me see. It's got beautiful art.
I was just gonna say that's one of the best covers ever. If you don't know it, Charles Vess, Spirits of the Earth, the hardcover graphic novel. He also did Web of Spider-Man #1. He paints the covers.
Covers so awesome.
261. He also did, I think it is.
Right after Mighty Marvel, we still don't have a Mighty Marvel Masterworks, dude. I don't know what it is. Give it a decade. Whew. All right, moving on to Mark Grunwald's Captain America. I can't think of anything else that could be added in here. This is great. This does not line up perfectly with the epics, by the way. So if you're an epic, it double dips a little bit with one of the epics. So
let me ask you this, because I'm a big Mike Zeck fan. He actually might be my favorite 80s artist. Is there a way they would ever do a Mike Zeck omnibus like Captain America by Mike Zeck, or you don't think that makes much sense?
You would have some of the Jam de Mateos era.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix of stuff.
No, I would prefer them do like a Jam de Mateos, or just get to that point.
Yeah,
we're almost. I mean, honestly,
it's close at this point.
After Kirby, you've got about two more before we get to this era.
Zeck's first issue is 224, and then he comes as the regular artist.
So you got
like 250.
It should be like volumes 5, 6 probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So very excited for this one. Solo the Hunter would be better in a Spectacular Spider-Man Omnibus. There you go. I would love a Zet. I would love a Zet Gallery edition.
Oh, there you go. I have the Zach Artist edition, but you're right. I would do a gallery for sure.
I'm big fan of those gallery editions. Yeah. You like oversized artwork. July. So let's go ahead and do this one. Zdarsky. This is the one that you all wanted. The Jen McKay's. Let me see if I can add it. DD Zdarsky. Jen McKay. Man Without Fear, is that what it's called? Or Death of Daredevil? Death of Daredevil.
I'm gonna search her.
I don't know about Extreme X-Men Volume 2. That's one that I'm asking on Monday about that. And what was the other one somebody else pointed out? Joe Kelly, Spider-Man. House of M Omnibus, Death of Daredevil. Thank you. Man Without Fear. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Can you look up
The Death of Daredevil?
That's the Jen McKay one.
Yeah, what you said wasn't right then. What did you want me to look up?
So what I said was not right?
Yeah, you said.
So it needs to be Man Without Fear, right? Somebody please correct. McKay is essentially bridge from Soul to Chip. It's Man Without Fear. That's what it's called, The Death of Daredevil. Thank you so much. 1 through 5. Man Without Fear as opposed to Miller's The Man Without Fear. Thank you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will make sure I have the entire title in there and let them know. That gap filler. So they didn't add the Daredevil by Zdarsky, or I'm sorry, Spider-Man by Zdarsky. They didn't add the Family Business by Mark Waid in there. So I will ask. No volume 1 in the Zdarsky Omnibus. It is a volume 1. I don't know why let me double check why it didn't come through that way. Maybe I didn't copy and paste it right. No, it's a volume 1. House of M Companion Omnibus. Nothing there. New printing. And I already added what my buddy Aaron suggested in this one. Spider-Man by Brand New Day. So I'll ask if they can map it closer to what the complete collections were. Yes. I already warned David. I texted him yesterday. I'm like, you know what I'm doing? He's like, oh my gosh, my Monday's going to be heck. Okay. 2 days back from vacation. This guy says there's a list of additions to our Omnis. That's what I do, baby.
Were you working on it on the plane? I just thought that's a long plane ride. Were you working
on the slideshow?
On anything? Were you making lists?
No, I literally went on vacation, man.
That's good. You deserve it.
I did a little bit of film, just a little bit of filming, and I don't know if it's enough for a video, but I guess we'll see. Is there enough material for a Fantastic Four? I have a custom one, so yeah, there is. It'll be a small omnibus, but there is enough material. House of Femme could include X Factor 1 through 8, right? 1 through 8. Welcome back, Omar. Thank you so much.
Has the X Factor thing been a joke before today, and I've just missed it?
Not as much as they've been laying. They've been laying it on hard today. Dude, Tom DeFalco Spider-Man Omnibus. I'm with you. But I mean, we know that's coming after Roger Stern, right? We know that we're gonna get it, and that would be what volumes? Let's see, 6, 7, 8. That'll be volume 8 and 9 of DeFalco of Amazing Spider-Man.
Here, I got one for you. What are they gonna do when they get? So let's say you're right, and then let's say McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man is volume 11. Does the Spider-Man adjective list become a volume 12? Does it stay its own thing? Is it its own line?
That would. I don't know. I don't know if they'll, because that was its own thing though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it should be its own thing. It should stay that way, right?
Well, I mean, Jim Lee's X-Men.
That's mixed in with the Omnis.
It's gonna be mixed in with the Omnis just because of the way it's mapped.
But Spider-Man's not the same.
But Spider-Man was kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Are we getting breaking news? You should be, as long as it's approved by Marvel. Welcome back, Omar. You look younger. Japan was going. Thank you, my brother. It's just because I shaved. That's it. Fantastic Four with Sue sporting that open chest. Oh my God, Tom DeFalco era, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So nothing else on this one. New printing. The only thing I will say about this new printing is that, well, it's not Daredevil. I will say about that.
Yeah, was it down?
Tales of the Jedi Omnibus. All right, X Factor. I think this is good enough as far as because they have Avengers. The final, I can't remember the final issue where the phone call takes. No, it's good. It's good. I was thinking of what's it called, the New Defenders, but the deluxe edition did include ROM. It did include ROM, and I even in my overview I didn't say a word in case they slipped up, and then when I'm like, I don't want anybody in trouble, so I'm just gonna keep my own rolling. Trial of Venom is missing from the Bagley Omnibus, is it? It's in the Venom. Well, Trial of Venom isn't really Michelini, though, is it? I thought that was Peter David that wrote that one.
Which one is it called?
Trial of Venom was one of those Melloway comics, and I think it was Peter David that wrote it.
I'll let you know in a second.
Is one of your hints about X-Men Inferno Omnibus? Is X-Men Inferno out of print?
It is.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
my gosh, can they add X Factor 1 through 8 to that? Yes, finally, something that makes sense. But I do like Manny's. Add Ghost Rider 1 through 25. You know which Ghost Rider?
Oh, the UNICEF one. Yeah, that one.
What?
The UNICEF one. Is that the Trial of Venom by UNICEF?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mail-in? Okay, yeah.
Is that Peter David that wrote it?
It doesn't say. I thought it would.
What website are you using?
I'm not saying the name of it. It's. Why do you think I'm redoing mine the way I am? So it has that info.
I know it's Peter David. I'm not even.
I'll trust you, man. Yeah.
Gruel Cap Omni should start at 302. It's a fresh start after the end of the Mateus story that is taken from him. Gruel kind of picks up from Carlin. Being that it's Carlin, I mean, I don't think they'll do it just for the same reason Peter David's Hulk didn't start with those issues. Those issues will be collected in its volume numbers. So Trial Venom was written by Peter David.
Yeah.
I know it's from that era, but a lot of these stories are from that era, but because it's not Bagley or Michelini, I don't think they'll do it. I can always ask. If you want me to ask, I'll ask. Can they add the missing Rise of Apocalypse? Rise of Apocalypse wasn't in the X Factor Epic, though. And it doesn't come until years later.
Yeah, I get late 90s, right?
It's, I would say mid 90s.
Okay.
Beautiful artwork by Adam Polina. And that will eventually get some kind of, I would love that in here, though. That would be cool. Because it is the beginning of Apocalypse, you know.
It was its own trade, too, at one point, right?
But that Apocalypse is so different than the Apocalypse here.
Yeah, we know, yeah.
The Apocalypse here is like a guy that, he's like a business guy.
Yeah, dude.
He's making deals. And
the first scene was in the building.
Dude, when he turns his arms into plane wings and flies away, I'm like, that's not the Apocalypse I remember.
Definitely evolved over time. I like his original look,
though. Okay. You know what? I asked about that in Uncanny 5. And that was a flat out no, and I know the reasons why. That thing would be a nightmare to reprint, but I'm going to ask for it again, even though it makes no sense to be in this omnibus, but it wasn't in Uncanny 5.
I put it somewhere, dog. What, because of all the character rights and everything? It would be
Well, no, all the writers. I mean, you had...
Oh, you got to pay everybody in all that.
Well, you had Frank Miller. You had... Oh my gosh, so many. Every writer wrote a page, and it was drawn by different artists, and it was one of those things that was all for charity, right? Yeah. So I don't know. Thank you.
There's a lot of
Man Without Hope. I'll continue, but the Omnis will also come out. Which Omnis? Which one are we talking about? What are we talking about? Creator-centric books don't care. Yeah. Grunwald Cap is 80s Cap. Yes. It starts off in the 80s and ends in the early 90s. I want to say 94 is when it ends. Will we get X Factor Prisoner of Love in Volume 2? Oh my gosh, I hated that story. But yes, beautiful artwork by Jackson Geist, though.
Why are you taking that Volume 2? Past Judgment War, and that's it?
Heroes for Hope would get me to buy X Factor Omni. Okay. I'll ask so I can be told a flat out no again. Now this time around, they're going to be like, that has nothing to do with X Factor. What? It's just my way of trying to get it in there. I would love that. It's got a beautiful cover by Arthur Adams, man.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It's
Soft
awesome.
cover, Omar. Is Barr still here? Can you ask Marvel to add Excalibur 1 through 7? I mean, that would be the complete series. You know what? Sure. Worst they can say is like, hell no. Or actually, no, the worst they can say is be like, lose my number. I think I've asked about that one before, and they were like, it's too much. Okay, that would be volume 3 of Excalibur. The softcover, Omar, is mine. You love Prisoner of War. No, I did not. I hated that story. That's almost as bad as the Beauty and the Beast miniseries. Just joined the chats. Will there be a second printing of Defenders Volume 1? Is it out of print already?
Yeah, all 3 covers.
Man.
Yeah.
That would totally make sense because the companion is on the thinner side. All right, I will ask about that, okay? That's, yeah. Hi, Omar. Why do you think Aaron Thor Omnis included War of the Realms, but didn't include the Original Sin? The Original Sin was a Marvel event. War of the Realms was less of a Marvel event, and it was... Original Sin wasn't like Thor leading up to Original Sin. War of the Realms was issue number 1 of Thor by Jason Aaron led into War of the Realms. Like he was building that up for years. That's why. Original Sin was going to be a Marvel event, regardless of what happened, and Thor doesn't play a big role in it. That's why. I should trademark softcover Omar. Okay. Omar, I have suggestions for editions, 3 separate Omnis. Can I please email them to me? And if you're watching this later, please email me your suggestions. I'll be happy to look at them and put together this list, and I will send it over to David and the gang on Monday. Just like I said, don't get your hopes up though. You know, a lot of times it's like, hey, this is already done. Sorry. But sometimes they say yes. So even if we get like a couple of books added with some stuff in here, that would be great.
Can this guy expand on that? Don Paulson? Which books is he talking? Combined into a single volume?
The Champions, some of the original X-Men. Any chance of a certain Daredevil reprints being combined into one single volume? No, there's no way. Now, what I could ask is if they could add some of the things that were missing from the original omnibus. And I don't mean to be a smart ass Dan, like there's no way. It's just like I've asked before. I've asked about the Ed Brubaker. I've asked about Daredevil by Brubaker, Daredevil by Bendis. It's easier for them to send the files to the printer. It's like it requires no work. Now it's going to require work if I do get things added, though. That would suck.
Yeah, but at this point, I mean, they're doing enough rebranding that having that Marvel Knights rebranded as a Daredevil is the right thing at this point.
Oh, it should be Daredevil Zero.
Absolutely.
But
by Kevin Smith.
So what's the email? This is the email address right here. It is nearmintcon@gmail.com. Feel free to email us between now and Monday morning. Champion was a one-and-done masterwork. Yeah, I don't think there was enough. Superior 33 to 34 Spider-Verse tie-ins, not in the Omni. No, because those stories were not necessary. They're a Spider-Verse event. As a matter of fact, those issues take place, I think, after issue 19 is when they're supposed to take place. So they don't even really make sense in reading orders. They would have to put them in it after issue 19. And there are kind of stories that are like, oh, yes, that Spider-Verse event happened, but I don't remember any of it. So you really don't need them. Okay, wait a minute. I got suggestions. Go easy on the email, though. I don't want like 18 paragraphs of things of how they can make money. Any Sergeant Fury Omni talk? No. The Celebration was just an Epic Collection Volume 2.
You dig in Secret Invasion?
It's okay so far.
Really? Okay.
I love the without going into spoilers.
Yeah,
I love the Nick Fury and Talos like buddy cop type of.
Yeah, that train scene was.
I just want more of that, and I don't like the villain at all. Like I'm not spoiling who the villain is, but the villain is so boring and not even good, one-dimensional boring. I don't like the actor. I think it might be the problem.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I don't know who the true villain might be.
I know it might be some twists and turns. Is
there a chance of a Generation X omnibus? I hope so, and I hope they do the rescans of those, because the scans on the epics, no bueno. These should have the letter pages too.
Here's an idea.
Champions plus X-Men Epic Volume 4, the X-Men Omnibus Volume 4.
Well, I like that people are trying to find a way to beef up a third volume
Well,
and get that printed.
Now that we have the Hulk by John Byrne and
You're right.
and what's his name? Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
Right? Like anything could make, as long as it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Could come.
And hey, if Marvel wants to know how to make money, print X-Men books.
Well, they know. They
Yeah,
know.
I'm kidding.
The best-selling books they have are X-Men and Spider-Man. Yeah.
That's what I
So
tell
when people are like, I'm so tired of these Spider-Man and X-Men announcements, I get it, but
they ain't tired of making
if you're
money.
look, if you like those one-off books like Gwenpool and books like you never thought we'd get an omnibus, it's because of the sales of Spider-Man and X-Men that those books are possible. Without the sales of Spider-Man and X-Men, you would not get books like Gwenpool.
Right. No, you're right.
It just wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah, it kind of offsets. Yeah, it offsets it for them, I would say.
Omar, how much hope do I have to get that New Avengers Omnibus Volume 1 reprint? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. If it was in our top 20, hopes are high, brother. Is the Wonder Man Omnibus still coming? Yes, as far as I know. How come Marvel has never made a Messiah Complex or Dark Reign Omnibus? Dark Reign. That would be a hard one to map because it wasn't an event, right?
It was issues from every series.
It's just it would be like saying an Age of Heroes omnibus. It was just an era that it was known as, or like a Marvel Now. Well, they did do a Marvel Now one.
I was just gonna say, I think they did, yeah.
Omar, where does Hickman Ultimates fit in the reading order of Ultimates? That happens after. Let's see, Ultimates, Mark Miller, Ultimates 2, Ultimates 3 by Loeb, Ultimatum, Ultimate Avengers. That happens after Ultimate Avengers. Yeah. So, Post-Clone Saga. Oh, I would love that. I'm sure that will come. And if it doesn't come, it'll be a few years before we get to those volumes. Captain Marvel had a crossover with Duggan's X-Men for Cap Omni 2. Do you know what issues they were? I'd be happy to put them on the list.
Yes.
Would like to see Marvel Comics present Cycle. Yeah, wait, no. Those stories wouldn't fit into Volume 2 though, and I would love to see the living, the living monolith one shot in a Volume 2.
At this
because they're not in the X-Men Omnis.
Are those the only like X-Men related Marvel Comics presents issues that aren't like scheduled to be collected right now? Are those Cyclops ones? Because
Cyclops, Colossus by.
Oh, he did have his own little section.
Yeah, Colossus. It was Rick Leonardi and was it Anna Shinty? I think wrote it.
Because when Havoc's there, it's Havoc and Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
but not Meltdown. I mean, there's Marvel Comics presents with both, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they had like I said, the graphic novel, The Living Pharaoh or The Living Monolith with Havoc. That would be cool to have in omnibus format.
Okay.
Will they throw Civil War 2 in Guardians Volume 2 by Bendis to beef it up? Yeah, because they didn't have the Black Vortex story. So I'm sure they will. Omar, I'll send an email about Please do. If you're watching this later, please send an email. You got until Monday morning. Do you think we'll ever get an Armor Wars in an Iron Man omnibus? Yeah, I think so. That story is way too important. Any news on Wolverine Volume 1? Nothing yet.
Need that new spine.
I think we'll get it. It was. How
did that one do for them when you told them, Omar?
I love sharing that story because that's when they started listening to me. Like they were like, "Oh, this guy's just not full of crap. He's actually, actually like, it's one thing to like they really Here, I'm gonna stop sharing. I can come back to sharing, by the way, anytime. But they really took a gamble in listening to a guy. Like a business like that, taking a gamble and listening to somebody that puts videos together, but understands the fan base. Like they took a gamble reprinting Omnibus Volume 1 of Wolverine. It didn't sell that well. It's been 10 years since it's been printed. And I will never forget that. Making that bet with David, saying, if you reprint it and it sells well, can I get a Volume 2? And he was like, okay, that sounds good.
And now we got how many?
And now we've got Volume 4.
That's almost a whole
Volume 1 was not just reprinted once, but it was reprinted twice. Because remember, it had the flat spine.
I was gonna say,
flat spine era. So, yeah. No X-Men Obnoxia the Clown either. No, or the X-Men Go to the Dallas Fair. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
Would love a Nova Omnibus by Abnett. That would be cool. Nova would be cool. I mean, if you just want Nova, because they did a Guardians of the Galaxy by DNA. So, yeah. Asked if they can reprint Predator Race War in the X Factor. Now you're just trolling, brother.
That's so good.
And that Batman TMNT Deluxe by Tinian, is that in the omnibus that may come out. Deluxe. Batman. I don't know. I would think so, right? With the hypothetical New Avengers Volume 2, should I keep? That's up to you, Secret Wars. Because even if we get a New Avengers Volume 2, it's just going to have the Secret Wars. I think it should have the Secret Wars main series, and that's it. You're not going to have the mini series. You're not going to have the tie-ins to everything else.
Secret Invasion, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know why I said Secret Wars. Where do I read Daredevil Punisher trade paperback means to an end? Is it the Bendis Brubaker era? Could that be included if they reprint an omnibus?
Is that one of those ones you were talking that's like missing from that era?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like, but man, if I do that, then people will be so pissed off. Like, I already have that omnibus. I'm not going to rebuy it for that miniseries.
Then they miss out.
I just like, it's one of those things. Like sometimes people get mad, and then sometimes people are like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for doing that."
But which one outweighs it? Because then the people who don't get it are going to be mad. Someone's going to be mad. Always.
But then it leaves those books stranded until we get to that era of Daredevil, and who knows how many years
all
that
of
will
that
be.
is, you theoretically can get all that in collected editions, all right? Like in trade paperbacks. There's nothing that's like completely orphaned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Super Laugh Hard. Hey, bro, you think Batman White Knight would get? Yes, absolutely. That gets an omnibus. It'll be at least 2 years.
How about some post-crisis Batman first, yo?
Okay, why are you trying to break my heart? You're responsible for New Warriors and Thunderbolts Omnis. I'm responsible for New Warriors. Oh man, well, I'm known for New Warriors and not something that would sell like hotcakes.
I know, is that good or bad? I don't know.
Although they did listen to a lot of the suggestions I had, like, and it's been a blessing to have a relationship with them. So.
Is New Warriors at the print now? The first one? I think that and Thunderbolts 1 might be.
I know Thunderbolts 1 is.
Yeah.
Does Agent Venom Modern Epic kill the Venom? No, absolutely not. They know now that people that buy Epics do not always buy Omnis and vice versa. So.
Okay, I can't remember what prompted me to think this earlier, but I was curious. Do the sales of, like, if I don't know, if they release an Epic collection of something and that material doesn't sell well, will that prevent them from wanting to put it out in an omnibus format sooner? Because I know you've said like they don't really affect each other, but I always thought that was more like in a positive way.
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
Like, we've had things that don't sell well in omnibus format that sell well in Epic Collection.
Yeah,
mainly the Silver Age stuff.
I believe that,
and vice versa. We've had things that sell better in omnibus format. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a little something for the people that are watching still, and thank you so much for. Don't forget to smash that like button. But one of the behind the scenes stories about the modern Epic Collection is why they decided to change that is because after Volume 1 of Complete Collections, they just didn't sell well, no matter what it was.
I believe that. Except
for, of course, Spider-Man and X-Men. But Complete Collections didn't sell that well. As a matter of fact, they were just done a couple of years ago. And they were like, we need to rebrand this. We need to think of a way to get people. Yeah. So they decided to go with the modern Epic Collection. And the pre-orders of those have been phenomenal so far. Yeah. Granted, they've done a Volume 1s of some stories so far.
Well, now,
so we'll see.
With the Complete Collections, the original run of those, they were releasing those chronologically. So, right? Like Volume 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah.
To where this is going to be. Yes.
They might jump around. When will Marvel reprint the Astonishing X-Men? I'm reading it now and I'm sure that will come on. I don't think it was voted in our top 20 this year, but maybe next year.
I chalk that up with with New X-Men. Like, they're always going to come back at some point. That's just how I feel.
It was the book that made me come back. Like, I'm back reading comics. I can't leave again. This was too good. Omar, if they reprint Fatal Attractions, would you rebrand it as an omnibus like they did with Mutant Massacre? Absolutely. Yeah. Fatal Attractions is big enough to get an omnibus. I mean, Wedding of Cyclops and Phoenix is big enough. That book was actually solicited as an omnibus. Guardians by Bendis 2 could also include the Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord miniseries that were part of Grounded, perhaps Guardians of Infinity. See, I just hope that we get it. As much as I did not, I've stated many times I hated that Guardians of the Galaxy run. But I also feel like it needs to be completed, right? People that love that era. A lot of people got into Guardians of the Galaxy because of Bendis' Guardians. So, what? Batman TMNT comes? No, it does not. That's been delayed. Batman TMNT has been delayed until later this year.
I can give you an exact answer if you want.
Yeah, if you can pull that up. Yep. Means and Ends seems like a standalone.
Lunar.
Would they add the real Clone Saga to Clone Saga Volume 1 or 2? I'm surprised they didn't the first time they came out with it. I always wondered why they didn't. Probably because it wasn't canon. It was just like a what if but then again, they add what if titles to a lot of these Omnis. Is there any hope for Road to Onslaught Omni? Are they done releasing these kind of? I don't think they're done. It's XMEN. I think it will come. Maybe they just need a reminder. I'll send them a reminder. I can't believe. I think that's my #1 most wanted XMEN Omni now. Not be. You know how I feel about Onslaught, but just like. It's such a good gap filler. If we have that, we have everything up until, oh my gosh, Operation Zero Tolerance. No, all the way up to Onslaught. Because then we need like the Trial of Gambit, another book I can't stand. They should do an additional DD miniseries collecting Omnis. That's a good idea too.
Oh, wow. That cat was right. 7-Eleven, dog. It comes out on Tuesday.
What?
Yeah. In store 7-11-23. You're right. Good call, dude.
Batman
TMNT Omnibus. I got it right here, dog.
No way.
But I'm on Lunar's website. This is the most accurate.
Okay. What? I thought that book got pushed back. You're talking about the Omnibus, right?
Yeah. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Omnibus.
The latest date I have is August. I mean, I believe you.
It's Lux Trim's house.
Okay.
Oh, and what was that cat asking? Oh, so it's got Batman TMNT 1 through 6. 2 1 through 6 and 3 1 through 6.
Doesn't have the adventures though, the cartoon one.
There we go.
X-Men
Gold. Hundreds of pages of behind the scenes material.
I've actually mapped these out. X-Men Gold and Blue. It's an era that is well hated though.
Yes,
especially for Guggenheim. I actually like part of Guggenheim's X-Men Gold, and then I hated some of it. Do you think Defenders Omnibus will extend the new? Oh, absolutely, it will. There's no way that
they change it on the spine.
See, I don't know if they keep going with it, and if they keep selling, of course. I wouldn't get mad if they redid Daredevil Volume 2 in Omnibus format. They missed out way too much. David Mack, Cough Cough, Daredevil Ninja, and Daredevil The End. Guys, I'm at work. I'll watch later. Thank you, Matt. I never followed any channel on YouTube before. I like your opinions, and thanks to you and Walt, I have a new place to spend my hard-earned. Well, thank you so much for that. Seriously, that means a lot. A lot of good channels out there too, though. A lot of good channels. A lot of my friends put out some great content. When's the JMS Amazing Spider-Man 2 Omnibus coming back to print? I don't know. So here's another hint. Maybe it's one of those that I'm announcing soon. Our new Avengers Volume 1 was voted #4 in the newest poll. Does that give us? Okay, yes, it does. Warren. I love that Warren is saying sorry. He never apologizes for anything, including his taste. What is it that you hate that I love? Was it some kind of X-Men book? I've just acquired Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition. The line art on the Uncanny X-Men needs some major restoration, particularly X-Men. Dude, that monster size book that Marvel released, where they just blew up the scans. Ooh, that's rough. You can tell like they need it. Like I can't wait for the Masterworks to get there. And that's part of the reason why I get excited about a future volume of X-Men. Because I already have Uncanny by Claremont and Lee Omnis, but I want it to be restored and given that Masterworks treatment. 100%. Does Marvel have plans for evolutionary war because of the Guardians of the? I don't think so. Right? That would have been announced already. With the hypothetical New Avengers 2, should I keep? Oh, I think I answered this one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Is this still going? Cycle Cleveland, I never stop, baby. Is there any hope for Road to Onslaught? I think I've read these. I've read these already.
Yeah, did you go back up?
Yeah. Amazon has it for August 1st. We're talking about TMNT. Yeah, CGN has it for the 1st. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm surprised Lunar's isn't updated. I'm not doubting you guys. It's just
Lunar and Penguin show at 8/1 and 7/11 for TMNT. But I don't remember which showed which date. So you're saying Lunar shows 7/11.
It does have it.
Weird.
So maybe, I don't know. Does Lunar get it before Penguin would? I don't think that's a thing.
JMS Volume 2 has already been reprinted. But yeah, you got to think of how many people are new to the game, though. People that have only been collecting for a year missed out on all that stuff, and JMS 1 has been reprinted.
Just curiosity, if you're a collector and you don't have the JMS and you saw like a Volume 2, but it's the flat spine, would you avoid buying it and wait for a reprint of the round, or you don't care? You'd get the flat.
Me?
Anybody? I'm asking them, but you too. Like, do you?
Oh, I don't care.
Because I sent you a round spine because I couldn't deal with you having that.
Yeah, you did.
I couldn't.
I don't care.
You wouldn't care?
I mean, obviously, I didn't care. I kept my Wolverine flat. I think I still have. No, I didn't. I got rid of it. I gave it away. But yeah, I've got.
You wouldn't care?
No, I didn't care about the flat spines. Boy, that whole fiasco. That happened right at the beginning of the pandemic, too.
Is this what they're doing now? I remember that, too,
and
man.
Then everybody forgot about the flat spines. What happened to the Eternal Warrior Omnibus? That just got pushed back. Valiant's going through their own big changes right now. See, Dude said he'd get the flat spine. How
There
about
you
a
go.
Jason Aaron Wolverine? Anytime they just reprinted Wolverine and the X-Men, which is
Yes.
technically volume
Oh.
3 of Jason Aaron's Omnis.
Can I say, I don't know how that's doing for everybody else. That is one of the worst selling omnibus I have ever bought. as a retail.
Really?
I am shocked because the original printing was so sought after, not a print.
You still have some?
Oh, if you guys want them for less than I paid for them, I'm willing to do it at this point. So you guys want those for?
Check out Dying Breed Collectors.
you
you have
sent
a
me a
website up yet?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring, or I wasn't just gonna bring that up. Someone mentioned that earlier. I did the domain switch on Friday, which they said could take up to 20 days because I revamped everything. Omar has seen the new site, so it does
dope.
exist. Yeah.
Good, looks dope.
So is OmniDog. They're one of the few people I've shown.
Show him that guy.
Dude, when I told him I
OmniDog.
showed you first, he got mad.
I got mad. I love Jess. I need to get Jess back on these streams.
He's the best, dude. I love
Flat
that
spines
guy.
look better. Not sorry. I think it's all personal taste. My local
It's also
7-Eleven
consistent.
better. I
Love it.
was confused when you said 7-Eleven too. I'm
Oh,
like,
and free Slurpees on Tuesday.
what? I'm waiting. If I know it's on the way, I would buy my Grit in My Eye if it's in a series. Wait, what are we doing?
I think he's talking the flat spine, like he would wait
Flat
if he knew it was on the way.
Gotcha. I had an opportunity to buy multiple times to get copies of JMS too, but I avoided the flat spine. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anywhere to Road to the War of the Kings and Realm of the Kings, those were not voted in our top 20, but they don't have to follow our top 20. There are a couple of reprints I'll be announcing that were not in our top 20, and from the past they've done their own thing too. So they can do whatever they feel is needed out there from time to time. Or maybe they need a reminder that it's also the Avengers anniversary. And they're like, oh crap, it is. Let's release 1 through 4 then and make it a volume 5. Oh, I love that. I love sharing that story.
Were there no plans for a volume 5 until
No.
you said that? Holy cow, dude.
No, there were no plans for any Avenger,
That's
because
crazy.
they were focused on X-Men.
And were they still gonna? I mean, were they planning on reprinting like the Iron Man and stuff too? I'm just
No.
shocked that. Oh, okay.
That came because of I think that came because of the reprint poll. I remember an email chain going
Okay.
between me and David about that. And then they were like, oh, we don't have any Avengers lined up.
That's crazy.
Because they were already swamped with the restoration of Uncanny 5 and the whole debate over what to include in it, that and it's an oversight. It makes sense. Sometimes things like that happen. But I'm glad that we got it. How long do Omni stay in print? Depending on what book it is and depending on how many, it's hard. If it's X-Men, you can bet they're printing more than they do things like Aliens, Volume 2, for example.
You know, I think this was in your chat yesterday. I saw someone ask about Aliens 1. That has come back into stock several times. So I don't know if it was reprinted or just restocked.
I think it was restocked.
Okay, because it was definitely out at one point because they were going for stupid on eBay, and then all of a sudden you can get them for $70 again.
What's up, Marvel Marvel Nerds? Yes, that says Near Mint Edition is the best. Thank you so much for that. Top quality content and updates. Thanks for keeping comics alive.
Patreon I'm a part of.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you for that.
Wait, do that again. Paper covers rock. I win.
Oh
Boom,
my
we got it on
gosh.
camera.
Loki, Journey into Mystery, Omni reprint. I think they're focusing on the modern epic collections now, but I'm sure it will come. Does Guardians of the Galaxy by Valentino take place before or after Korvac Saga? I don't want to say way after, because when I was a kid, it was way after. Nowadays, it's like just a few years after, because time is so different when you're a kid, right?
Yeah, no
than
doubt.
it is when you're 45 years old and you're like, oh, it was like that. There's more of a gap in between. Here's something crazy, man. Jean Grey was dead longer after. Oh no, that's a spoiler. Never mind. Forget I just said that.
Who dies?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to spoil things that happen in books
I
that
know
have
what you're
just
saying.
been recently reprinted, and people are like, "Wait, I haven't gotten there yet." So never mind. Forget I said that. But it takes place after. Valentino's run was in the early '90s, and Korvac Saga was in the early '80s. Aliens Omni 1 is in stock right now at in-stock trade, but Volume 2 is the one that's out of print.
I got some.
Do you think we will get a reprint of Wonder Woman Volume 2 and 3 by Perez? I would think so. As far as like DC, that's how they kind of catch up.
Dude, they're pretty good at reprinting their stuff, honestly.
And they reprinted on stealth sometimes. Sometimes stealth, like they do stealth restocks, which is
Logan's
crazy.
Sale is the one that that you're saying would constantly be like out of stock, and all of a sudden it's back.
And
It's
it's
out of
back,
stock.
yeah.
It's back.
Korvac Saga, I stand corrected, is 1978. The year I was born. Thank you. Oh my gosh, was it really 78?
You were born in '78.
Shut up. Don't care about flat spines as long as the eye is good. My man, that reminds me, Omar, one of the new Omnis is going to be Cloak and Dagger Volume 3. I don't think there's enough. There's a Goody Hero. No, there's not enough. No way. Finally, I found some fellow grown-up Marvel. Oh, yeah, this is where we all hang out. You can tell our age. We're all grown up. Although these stories sometimes brings out the kid in us, especially when we don't agree on things, but that's okay. Sorry, Omar, did you answer if Daredevil means and ends should be read during the... Yes, it should. But honestly, it's such a standalone story, you can read it at any time. Batman Omnibus by Brubaker. You know what? Screw that. Batman, New Gotham. And you put the Brubaker and Greg Rucka era in all that. Yeah. And I'm sorry, not that your idea is crap. I just want it all. I don't want just Batman by Brubaker because then they'll skip volumes or skip issues that weren't written by Brubaker, and I hate when that happens. I'm not the biggest fan of creator-centric books. I appreciate the gap fillers, but I want it all. So give me that Batman New Gotham. It would take probably 3 volumes if you include all the Officer Down storyline in there. Right. 78, my dude. That's the year I was born. Or does David know Wolverine's 50th anniversary is next year?
Whoa, good call, dude. 74, he's right.
Not, he will now. It's also West Coast of, oh my gosh. Next year, here's hope. Okay. I will remind him. Oh my gosh. He's going to hate my, I'm going to break that email up into 2.
Yeah.
By the way, it's also the anniversary of these characters. Hope New Teen Titans Omni 2 and 3 get reprints.
Me too.
I hope we get a volume 6. What's going on with Transformers Phase 3 and 4 right now? It's dead in the water. IDW cannot print anymore. It's up to the new publisher, which is Skybound, to see if they can even acquire the rights to that stuff. So here's hoping, man, because it's my favorite Transformers comics. With that Hulk burn Casey Omni coming out, it gives me hope for Bruce Jones. Hey, fellas, what's up? My brother Omni Nation Comics has the most contagious laugh out there on the internet. Powers of a Girl book. Wolvie's 50 is prime time to release the Old Man Ibis. That'd be good with that. I think 2, right? What's happening with Daredevil Volume 2 by Brubaker? I do not know. Give it some time. One hint about the new Omnis, Omar. You said everyone already knows, but everybody already knows of one of these.
I don't either.
Just because of the way that Marvel announced it, everybody knows what it's going to be. The other one is it's a future volume number of a book that that's all I can say. Not an Omni question, but where would post Crisis Batman start? Year 1.
Yeah, 404.
Even though Magpie happens before that.
Yeah, 401 technically. But
you would have to kick it off with
100%. Because Second Chances has the 401, 2, and 3. And
yeah,
I don't agree with that.
Even though it happens before you would have to kick it off with
that's
year
the
1.
Only Batman Collected Editions I'm missing in my whole collection.
I found that in an Ollie's.
Dude, they just opened an Ollie's by me in Illinois.
Yeah.
Are they cool? People like Ollie's. They're not. It's not a thing I've been to.
Like, I remember seeing a stack this big. Like,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, because I waited because I'm like, I don't want this collection. It's kind of butchered a little bit. And then when I was like, oh, they're not gonna bring it out in any other kind of type of collection. I decided to get it.
And they don't do any type of restoration like the Masterworks do. And I know this.
No, not for that. Sure not for that era.
Yeah. World War Hulk reprint. Actually, Omar answered it already. He said nothing on the horizon, so I can answer that one.
Yeah, I did. Or maybe I was lying. Never know when to trust me. Got a good poker face. Won a lot of good poker tournaments.
It's true. I was questioning whether he lived here because when I was rolling up on the block, I'm like, this don't look like houses.
Dude, here's a little hint. Like, if you act stupid a lot, sometimes you get away with so much, such as like bluffing. You act stupid during a poker tournament, especially when you get, oh man, you piss so many people off too. Because, people think you're a fool.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the time you just like,
them, yeah.
Well, it's about reading the room, right? It's about reading everybody else. And then, when you show who you really are, oh my gosh, it makes so many people mad. I've pissed off a lot of people.
Whoa, that one. I wish, which local Ollies?
The 2 local Ollies had a bunch of Batman Year 2. Oh, Batman Year 2.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm shocked. Those have been out of print. I had to get, when I got you one, I
love those books.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Omar is available for pre-order right now. Yes. Fingers crossed, though. It hasn't been officially solicited yet. Fingers crossed. Dude, what's up, my brother? ¿Cómo estás, hermano? Your condition. Also, you look like a child with that clean shave. It's the, yeah, I'm going for the childish Gambino look. Thank you, brother. It's good to see you here, man. I haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. Any plans for, dude? I would love a Greg Rucka Punisher. I would love that. Omar and I are same age. Yo, what was the first comic you remember buying? Me, Incredible Hulk 287. Remember buying? That would be like, you know, I was a kid. So
Uncanny 167.
167 is the first comic I got. My uncle, you remember? Yeah, that's the From the Ashes storyline. 168. You're a horrible friend.
Yeah,
you're a horrible friend.
Yeah,
you're
with
a horrible
Karen
friend.
X. How could I get that wrong?
First appearance of Lockheed. First appearance of Madeline Pryor. Big. I still have that issue. First, I would say the first comic I remember buying would probably be Uncanny 207, Wolverine on the cover.
Slashing.
I remember coming to America and getting that particular issue. Yeah. 207, maybe? Yeah.
John Romita Jr., baby.
Yes, sir. Isn't Korvac Quest reprinted in an Epic? Yes, it is. Omar, fresh beard or not? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, fresh beard. I don't know. I asked my wife what she prefers. She doesn't care, she says. Which I don't know what that says about our relationship. Ollie gets some of the very random unsold. Absolutely, they will.
I'll have to go check that one out.
Hello, Omar, just got here. Sorry if it's been asked, but could you ask Marvel could add the graphic novel? Yeah, Fear Itself and the, what was the other one? Spirits of the Earth. Yeah, I did. I'm going to be asking about those. And if you're watching this later, by all means, please email us. Not relevant to collected editions. Omar, did you see Jen Bartel's new Captain Marvel design? No, I did not. But I love me some Jen Bartel. Omar, why don't you shave all the time? You look like a proper Jen. Are you saying I don't want to have a beard? I don't know, man. It's just, honestly, I don't know why I let it grow out. I used to be clean shaven a lot, you know, when I was working.
I was going to say, when you had a real job, did you?
Shut up. This is a real job.
You know what I mean?
This is the best job ever.
Did they require you? Or I worked at the bank once.
I wasn't in the military.
I couldn't have 5 o'clock shadow at the bank. My manager got mad at me once.
When I was working at when I was working at one of the hospitals, I couldn't have a full beard.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some places.
I
was in the emergency room. I thought you knew that.
I didn't know that one.
David Gabriel should fast track the Uncanny XMEN Omnis to cover the 90s issues. Us old geezers. Please don't put us in the category of old geezers of 40 plus. Won't be around for love. What? No, we plan on living a long time.
Also, just years ahead of you.
Came out back in 2022. Do you know why it's taking so? I don't know. I think it's one of those things that eventually they'll catch up. Yeah. And when they feel like catching up, they'll need those reprints for the months they can't get to work on new books. I have known about this book for a few months before it was solicited. And I could not wait to talk about it. Then when it was officially solicited, I was like, oh, I can now talk about it. I am so excited for this. This is something that Kurt Busiek has been working on. If you've known Kurt and you follow him on social media, he's been talking about this Omnibus Astro City for at least 8 years. Talking about a hardcover coming at the very least. So when the Mega City book or the Metro book came out, the big collection of Volume 1, the softcover, people were like, where's the hardcover? And he's like, oh, it's coming. And sure enough, it's finally coming, man. I cannot wait for that day. Yes, my first comic book panel I ever read, even though I couldn't read English, was Professor Xavier is a jerk.
You seen that cosplay where the girl had cut out the bubble?
You didn't miss the fun. You can always catch the replay, my dude. Oh, muchas gracias, hermano, for the super chats. Hola, Omar, ¿cómo estuvo Japón? Mi hermano, si nunca fuiste a Japón, deberías ir ahí un día. Wow. La comida. Las muchachas. Compraste algo? Oh, yeah, man, dude, I bought so many figures that I've been missing over the years. I bought a little bit of manga. Mel, también ella consiguió algo para ella. ¿Quién es ese chico? Este es Johnny, the Dying Breed Collectors.
Yo, what up, dude? ¿Qué pasa?
He's a retailer. He sells actually sells Omnis and collected editions. Yeah, I'm new to Green Lantern. I was thinking about starting the Lantern Corps by Peter Tomasi and Gleason, Omnibus Book 1. What do you think? I think it's a great jumping on point, but do yourself a favor and get Green Lantern by Jeff Johns Volume 1, because that's where it all gets relaunched. It's a little bit confusing, but I swear he does such an amazing job of catching you up to speed. I respect Omar's new trick to get people to stop talking about spines or Omni requests. Just shave the beard and have everyone
No
else.
one has mentioned the small spines today.
Oh,
See, that's why
every day.
That's
every
why
day.
they stopped caring about the flat spines. You just need to release the small print, and then no one remembers the
Hey,
flat
here's
spines.
what's your day to day, or is Dying Breed Collectors full time for
Yeah,
you?
it is. And I try to treat it I treat it like a job, like Omar does. Like if I want to do this for a living, like I have to get up every day, do certain things, get them done. I can't just be like, hey, I can do what I want and get up when I want. Yeah, so it's a full-time job. And I also do the conventions, which I've talked about. So that's a huge part of it. That's a lot of work. I mean, they are spread out, so it's not like all the time, but man, when I do those, like that's a lot. You saw.
I did.
You helped? He did.
Captain Marvel at Thompson had a crossover with Doug in X-Men 19 through 21. I believe there were going to be people. Okay, so here's a couple of suggestions. Thank you so much. So okay, thank you all. Thank you for emailing me 19 through 21. Yep. And I will add those on the master list. Thanks for taking the time to answer these questions. Best channel. The announcements usually come out when I'm finishing work, so always puts a smile on my face and makes a bad day good. Oh, thank you for that, Jonathan. I appreciate the kind words. Buongiorno. Bonjour, Omar.
Bonjour.
And to you too, Alex. How are you, brother? Holy moly, Astro City's finally, brother. Finally, it's and that cover is freaking amazing. That Alex Ross with all the characters. Oh my god. And the amount of work that's going into the actual collection of the book, the way it's designed, is freaking awesome.
They you just called it an opus or an opus? Or is it an omnibus but just called something different? Yeah, okay. And then did you know they had a freaking Alex Ross museum exhibit by my house like a few
Yeah, it was in
weeks ago?
Chicago.
Yeah, did you obviously
I was in Japan.
of course, right. That was cool.
We need a community poll. Omar, suit or no suit? Beard or no beard? No, we don't need community polls for that. Keep the community polls for Omnis. Can Omar be on Marvel variant cover drawn by Scotty Young saying, Omar talk pretty one day, stay minty? Oh, that would be awesome.
Nice.
Why is Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, Triumph, and Torment graphic novel so hard to find, so expensive? Because it's an original graphic novel. It's probably the best Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom story ever. Although Books of Doom is solid. But it can be found in the Omnibus. It's in the Doctor Doom Omnibus, and it's also in the Epic Collection, Triumph and Torment. And the Fantastic Four.
But it's not in the Doctor Strange Omnibus, which I have an issue with. Let me talk to you about this. You know, the Sorcerer Supreme. Which it should be.
It should be in volume 1.
Right. So
I bet they keep it for the
end of volume
for the Chris Claremont and Roger Stern, Steve Englehart era.
Yeah, it will be the last thing in there. That's what I was going to ask.
Got my answer. I think so. Jeff Johns by Green Lantern, or Green Lantern by Jeff Johns is always in print. That is always.
Sorry, guys. This point went out. It said Jess is going to be jealous and fly Johnny out to his basement next week to do his. Actually, I'm going to be in Baltimore in October or September. I'm going to try to swing by him.
I'm going to Baltimore too.
Are you the Comic-Con?
Yeah.
We gotta see a lot of each other this year, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like it.
I don't. Yeah, I need sideburns. I do. I used to do my facial hair. Like it was ridiculous. Oh, thank you so much for that, Dana. Best channel. How do I make Omnis a full-time job? It beats scaffolding.
He cleaned windows or stuff like that.
It's
hard.
Start a channel without any kind of expectations. Like seriously, and bust your ass doing it for like 3 years.
And do it because you love it.
That's the main thing. Not because you expect things to come your way, because there were no expectations when it came to this. It is a blessing that I remember. I always tell this story, and I don't know, people probably get tired of it, but it was about 3 years before I actually started making YouTube revenue.
Yeah.
And when I joke about this, and it's serious, YouTube revenue was $3 a month.
That's crazy.
Whenever I started, I was losing money.
That's what I used to live on.
Yeah, no, I didn't live on that. I had a full-time job.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, we had giveaways, and it was like it wasn't even paying for the shipping of giveaways. It was ridiculous. But
you know, I don't know if you found this too, but at least in my field, you have to be willing to change too. You can't think that what you think off the bat is the right way. You have to be willing to learn and adapt and make changes. So
yeah,
be willing to do that. You're not always right.
So it's a blessing to be doing this. It's so crazy, and no matter how bad it gets, like the camera stops working, I need a new laptop.
Yeah.
Something goes down. It can be stressful like a regular job, and you have to handle it like a regular job. If you take a step back and going, oh my god, I read comics for a living,
right?
Like that makes it so much better.
Well, I think
you don't think about it as you're being stressed out though, like doing something like, oh my gosh, I need to get this out and edit it by this point. But if you take a step back and enjoy it, or you can enjoy it a lot more.
But if you don't take it seriously in those moments where you have to, that's when it can unravel real quick, and then all of a sudden it's not a job because you're not taking it seriously. So
yeah, like if I stop reading,
it's got to be a
like,
balance.
Like,
yeah,
and the grass is always greener, right? Like when you see people that do this or maybe play video games. I don't know how it is for people that play video games, but if you slack if you slack a little bit, if you don't read, if you don't keep up with things, people will take notice. And I think that's that's it. Just depends on your personality and how much and how far you want to take it. Thank you for answering my question. First time here, catching you. Love your channel, hermano. Muchas gracias, man. Muchas gracias. Y de nada. Bring back the cowboy hat. That I'm actually bringing that back for my most wanted DC Omnis, Marvel Omnis. That kicks off sometime in August.
Cowboy.
That's Omar's always partying from the waist down in his videos. No, Johnny.
Wait, say that again?
No, I'm not.
Well,
think they ever reprint the Awesome? I don't think so.
Oh no,
because it's one of those products that was kind of a license deal, dude.
So liquidated too.
Best Ollie story I have.
Yeah,
I bought that for Amanda at $6.90. I think it was like $6.78. Because they couldn't find the
actual sticker,
so they went to get another one, and it was the other Oz book that was a hardcover.
That's so cool. Also, Alex Ross does live in Chicago, or he's from there. I don't know if he currently resides, but he is from my area. That is true.
We need a Master of the Mystics art Omni. The youngsters these days can see that Doc was saving the world. Clea was cheating on him with Benjamin Franklin. You're gonna be a vendor at New York Comic Con? That thing gets
this year,
expensive.
but I have actually reached out to them about next year because it's too soon this year for me to get on it. It's probably filled already, to be honest. It's probably October, November, but 2024, I would be disappointed if I'm not there. So there you go. Have you been to that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you have. I remember seeing a video before we met and stuff. Yeah, that seems like a big one. But with them, I do know this from my friends, like my vendor friends. They're really strict on you can't bring a trailer in, which is how I travel, or else they'll charge you to remove the stuff.
Insane.
And if you're thinking about how much omnibus weigh and they charge by weight, no thanks.
To answer this question, I think Martin knows this. Maybe he's just asking. When are we getting a supersized hardcover Kraven's Last Hunt? That gallery edition, I hinted that it was coming, and now I'm just telling you it's flat out. It was coming. Unfortunately, got pushed out into. Right now, it's pushed out into the. Sometime later. I don't have a specific date, and they don't know. It's who knows when it'll be cracked. But the reason they pushed it out is so they could get out the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sell stuff, which at this time it makes sense. A lot of that goes towards the Tim Sell's widow and family. So
thank you, by the way, for just announcing that. That just made my day.
I've announced that like a year ago.
When? I don't remember that. You were talking Mike Zeck Galleries edition earlier. You didn't say that?
I would love that, man. How did you and the rest of the collective decide that you got the NMC channel in the end? Oh, we had a meeting and we talked about it because we were an LLC whenever we did it. Because I got Dan, he's a lawyer, so of course we have to make everything legit. So we had a big meeting about it, and they were all cool with it. They were the ones that suggested it, and they kind of knew it was coming because they weren't really making videos anymore. But hopefully we'll get back to Near Mint Collect. I miss doing panel videos. Oh man, I'm at breakfast and just joined. Hate to ask questions already been asked. It's okay. As long as I'm here and I see it, I can ask. Omar, you gonna smash out those 10 announcements and breaking? I was thinking about that, how I'm gonna do it. A lot of it depends on how Marvel wants me to do it too. So if I could do 2 videos, that would be cool. Splitting the 10 announcements, because that's 5.
Yeah.
But really depends on how sometimes they want me to kind of break it up. So
when you did that one video where you announced the Jim Lee XMEN Omnibus reprints, there was a dozen books in that announcement. Do you remember that one? That's still my favorite video you ever did.
That was before my favorite video I ever did was announcing Uncanny 4, because I snuck, because I was like,
I'm announcing. Did you keep it till the end or something?
Yeah. So what I did is I'm announcing 13 new Marvel Omnis.
Yeah.
And if people weren't counting, I was like, well, that's it, everybody. And then I did, my sign off. I'm like, don't forget to smash that like button. But wait,
right.
If you're bad at math, then you're gone already. But if you're a true Minty, you're here to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to announce one last thing. And there were people that were commenting going, I didn't see Uncanny 5 or 4.
4, yeah.
You know,
watch the whole
you
video.
watch the whole video,
It's
man.
a tell, dude.
Yeah, that was back before Marvel Legal. You know,
Yeah, you were still working at that time, right?
yeah.
I don't mean to keep saying that. You know what I mean? Working at another job. I know you. I
had a suit on though. So yeah,
you
now
did have a suit on.
Now it has to be approved by Marvel Legal, and you know sometimes it's easy. Like it's not like they've ever, with the exception of a couple of announcements that I've had to redo, I had to reshoot. The big ones are Star Wars. Like I can't announce anything with Star Wars Omnis anymore. That's a big Lucas thing though.
Okay.
So it has to be just Star Wars. So. Let's get to a couple more questions and then we can get going. Superior Spider-Man, get an Omnibus Volume 2. They missed the team-ups. They missed Avenging Spider-Man too. I think it will. We had a big meeting. Super Smash Brothers Tournament winner gets the channel. Yes, I would love that. My favorite video of yours was the fake out. Oh yeah, I had him on the cover, didn't I? And it turned out to be a Conan Omnibus.
Do you remember when oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Curtis, when he did the fake out with the Epic and the Epic announcement video, that was good too, man.
There should have been a second Marvel Omni or Marvel movie. Never enough superheroes, super uneducated film directors that should have never been hired for these lame, unwatchable movies. Should have never been which, like, you're talking about Shazam?
I believe he is.
Or are you talking about
Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 1? I believe. That's how I read
Iron Man 2 was awful.
Yes, it was.
Iron Man 1 was so good. Iron Man 2 was awful.
Do you know I still have not seen Thor: The Dark World, and I have missed not a single beat in the MCU? That's the only one I haven't seen.
Some people will say Thor: The Dark World was better than Love and Thunder, though. I'm not one of those people.
I'm not. Wait, yeah, Love and Thunder was bad, dude.
But some of those people will say.
See that recent article that he might have done it on purpose or something? Taika Waititi. Because of the pressure he was under, that he might have just kind of made it crappy.
I don't know. Gotta have Rob on there again and do a top 10. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. We did a top 10 X-Men video games. That was such a fun video.
Did anybody ever get past the second level of Clone Wars on Sega Genesis? Because I sure didn't.
Oh, the Sega Genesis guy was a good game.
Yeah.
Daredevil Born Again Gallery Edition coming next year still. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I saw it. Aren't they reprinting one of the Frank Miller artist editions as one of the artisan with the trade paperbacks?
Trade paperbacks, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's coming soon.
I remember when the announcements weren't at one at a time. I like the one at a time format for sure. Thank you. Yeah, it's really not up to me anymore. I loved announcing like 10 books, but people actually, I have been told by a lot more people that they enjoyed the 1 or 2 announcements at the time. So they can, and then they can just focus or hate on something. Like they can love on something or be like, this is stupid. Because it's almost like a mixed range of emotions whenever I announce like something they really want and then something that they don't want. And they're like, I don't know how I feel. I'm angry and happy at the same time. And now if I just focus on 1 or 2, it gives people enough time to be like, let me show you why.
I do like, my opinion, I like when you do like you did the Captain America announcement where it was the Grunwald book and
the Kirby.
Yeah, but it was 2 Cap books in one video. I liked that instead of like Cap and Daredevil.
Yeah, and then sometimes like I suggest like, is this cool to announce it like this? And they're like, well, how about you move this one here and call it a day? So sometimes that happens. You have during this particular era, those 10 are nothing but reprints. Some of them are on the list. 8 of them are on the list, and then I think 1 or 2 are not on our top 20. And there's 2 other Omnis that I haven't announced yet. So those are coming.
We answered that one. I think that'd be a fun one. Frank Miller Batman.
Are we going to see a Frank Miller Batman omnibus? I mean, what would you have?
Well,
there's not enough material.
The year 1 and 2 have a deluxe version, which is the same trim
size. You didn't do year 2?
Oh, Jesus, sorry. Yeah, I know you're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking the deluxe. You're right. So the year 1 is a deluxe.
How dare you? That's Mike W. Barr.
And Dark Knight Returns also has a deluxe hardcover, which also I think includes the second story, Dark Knight Strikes Again. So those are the 30th anniversary one. That is the same size as an omnibus in terms of trim. But they also have the absolute Batman Year 1, which I think is the ultimate way to read that story because of the 2 versions you get. But you're right. That beyond that, he hasn't written anything. The third Dark Knight. So you have the 3 Dark Knight stories.
Year 1.
Actually, do you know about the old? It's a black
All-Star Batman. All-Star Batman
with Jim
and Robin.
Lee, right? Yeah. There's a black leather bound. Enough. Do you know about those? The black leather bound hardcover.
I used to have.
I have that and the Joker one. The stack deck.
I had both of those. Yeah. The Joker has like a purple leather.
Purple leather with gold trim, and then the the Batman has black leather with silver trim.
Yes, bars is still going. That's how old folks like to talk slow and long. Man, Omar, I just started reading Morrison's new X-Men. I am struggling to get through it. Only Morrison title I've ever really. It is. I think I said this in my overview. It is the least Morrison title I've ever read outside of JLA. Even in JLA, Morrison was able to put in an angel, an actual angel in JLA. In X-Men, there's a character named Angel,
Right.
But it's the most like non-Morrison book I've read. It's not X-Men too. They could call it the GD Batman Omnibus. I would be okay. Omar is becoming Jess when it comes to look at Jess would still be like 5 hours back into the chat.
All right, coming up in July.
Dark Knights 1, 2, 3 plus Golden Child, Last Laugh.
I mean, that is enough for an omnibus. He's not wrong, but I just don't see it happening more.
Year 1, All-Star. It's enough for an omnibus. It's Frank Miller. People would buy it. You know that.
Yeah, but I have more or less confidence in DC doing it, even though, I mean, I don't know. Until they do it, I don't believe they will. That's my view on them.
I think it will come. Giving Jess a run for his I'm counting up with the chat. Jess would not be. I don't know why I still have the email up. That's email in case you want to, if you missed the stream, you want to add something added to these books, just let me know there. Somebody was asking about Kyle Rayner Omnibus. That's one of my most wanted. I would love that. It was a heartbreak to see them cancel volume 3 of that series. Oh my gosh, we're going on 2.5 hours. All right, baby, it's time to end this. I got to go and get some lunch. Hi there. To the person with the Omar, with the young boy face. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Question, is the DC series The Trinity by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley and DC Omnibus? You know that?
I think he was talking to you. No, I don't know if the answer to that, but I don't.
That was me. Okay.
Yeah, you're the young guy.
It's not.
Yeah,
there's only 3. There were 3 trades available of that, and that was it. That's the only way they've been released. They never been released in skinny trades. They just did 3 fat trades, and that was it. Because it was 52 issues, I believe. Because it was like they did the 52 series, then they did the Countdown series, and then they did the DC Trinity.
Hey Ted, you're right. If they did a Neil Adams one, why not Frank Miller? But
Absolutely.
They better not recolor it like they did with Neil Adams.
Well, that was Neil Adams, dude.
I still don't dig it.
True, but Jess did do a 4-hour. I don't think I've got it in me to do those kind of streams. Jess has more stamina than I do, and you can screen grab that if you want to, James. There is a hardcover of the complete Frank Miller Batman, but that's the one we're talking about.
Leather-bound one. Yeah,
but
it's just called the complete Frank Miller.
Yeah, but then again, it's missing out all the new stuff.
Yeah. It's at the time it came out, it was probably everything.
Hit the like button before you leave. Thank you so much.
Smash that.
Does Marvel pay you for all this? No. To be completely clear, the only time Marvel pays me is when I say this video is sponsored by Marvel Comics. And that's just me being honest. Like, this is something that I do because a lot of people have asked me to do this. So yeah, the only videos I get paid for, like, or when like, and it's not just Marvel, like Vault, when I'm like, this video is sponsored by Vault Comics, that's the times that I get paid. Anything else is my sponsors, Cheap Graphic Novels, Walt's Comic Shop, and of course, YouTube revenue, which most people will tell you has gone down.
Is there a reason for that? Algorithms? A lot of things.
I don't know. But yes, hitting the like button goes a long way. Thank you so much for that. Is it possible that that in the future we will be able to see an Amalgam Comics omnibus? I would not bet on that. Not anytime soon. Seriously, it's going to be a long time before we see any. That's just a licensing hell nightmare. That is just so much going into that. This is by the way, if you don't know what that is the DC Marvel like Spider-Boy series by Mike Wieringo. I have an omnibus of that because I found one on eBay. Oh my gosh, that thing costs an arm and a leg. Omar, I can show you all my custom omnibus.
I was going to ask about that actually. Yeah.
Hey, should I buy the Miles Morales Spider-Man omnibus that will come out in August? The Saladin Ahmed? If you're a fan of Miles. But I would strongly get the Bendis one first. That's a really good book. I really like that.
My 12-year-old niece read through that thing, man. She loved it. The Bendis Miles.
Brilliant idea. If Marvel only pays you when you say the video is sponsored by Marvel Comics, say it in every video. I wish.
You've already said it twice now, right?
Well, I have
2 times.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'd love for legal to jump in on that. When Marvel reprints New Avengers or another book of Bendis eras, please, I want it so much. I'm sure that will come. Volume 1 reprint was in our top 20, so it will come. And it's just a YouTube thing. Yes, every YouTuber I follow has reported less and less earnings. That's why a lot of YouTubers are doing, like, I'm not joking. A lot of YouTubers have gone like This video is sponsored by things that have nothing to do with whatever they're talking about.
Yeah,
This
I
video is
noticed.
sponsored by Mint. This video is sponsored by oh my gosh, like
Keeps your hair. That's when I see a lot.
VPN. And I've been approached by, I've told this story before. I've been approached by like Levi jeans. And I'm like,
Get some Levi's, bro.
dude, if times ever get hard, I will be buttoning my fly and I'll. And
Oh my god.
my favorite one is still Fresh Balls. That's my favorite one that I've been asked. And I'm like, no, that has nothing. Well,
Is it like a powder?
I don't know.
Okay.
I did not look into it that much. Any news on the Revenge of the Living Monolith? I just
You
said
mentioned
that.
that, yeah.
I said that it would be really cool to put that in an X Factor Omni, but it would be in volume 2. Dude, Chris Howard, I haven't seen Chris in so long. You what omnibus I would like? I would like Scabbound to do the complete US. Oh my gosh, that would be so good, especially since IDW didn't like UK Transformers run in order in nice hardcovers that are easy to get in the US. I am 100% behind that. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. Sponsored by Omni fans. Still got that shirt, baby. It's 1941 here, so you know how far you are behind in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Strange in Paradise hardcover reprint. Is the softcover even comparable? The hardcover reprint comes with that extra art book, and I think it still comes with the plate, like a signed plate. This video is sponsored by Always. Things aren't that hard yet. If you do a Levi sponsorship, you don't parody the Liefeld commercial. I love that commercial. If you lived in that era, you know what we're talking about. If Omar does Levi's video, he'll have to get something in common with Rob Liefeld. This is a what was it? Cameraman, Levi man? I can't remember. It was Spike Man, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you this story. At C2E2 2 years ago in the morning before the convention opened, Rob Liefeld like walked up to my booth and I looked and he was like there and I was like, oh, that's Rob Liefeld. I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction. And I turned around and kept working.
You're not a Liefeld fan?
Nah, here's what, not his artwork. I like his artwork. I have heard he's not been the best at interacting with fans. I mean,
he's better now.
Okay, but I've heard that and I was like, I don't feel like dealing with that with him. I'm not, because I don't want to have a bad experience.
I don't know, man. People hate on Liefeld, and I never understood. I get it, you know. Imagine being 20 years old and being a millionaire overnight.
No, I get
you
it.
you remember being 20 and how foolish we were?
And
imagine being 20 and being
having
$1 million
$1,000,000
overnight. You're gonna have a big head on your shoulders for a while.
Yeah.
So it's just
but fan interactions mean a lot to me. That goes, if I hear somebody who's famous has a bad one, it really puts a bad
No, I agree with that. Like to me, I never had a bad experience with George Perez. George Perez to me is the staple, like kept it humble. Even though like everybody that walked up to him were like, you're my favorite artist. I love everything you've done. How many times you hear that and he kept it humble and he kept it like he was like an independent artist. That is my kind. Like, it's the kind of person every artist and every writer, everybody working in the industry should strive to be like George Perez, setting the example of how to treat your fans. Like, you know, like anytime he makes you feel like it's so weird talking about him in past tense, but he made you feel like you were special, like you were the only one there.
When I met Frank Miller, I'm convinced if I would have kept talking, I'd still be there talking to him and he would have let me go. He wasn't going to stop me. He was totally ready to just let me say what I need to say in a good way.
And Frank was always cool with me.
Yeah.
I only met him twice.
At Piscore. Have you met him yet?
Yeah.
So I met him twice and this really like did me well. The first time I met him, I gifted him Berserk Volume 1 because he didn't have it. And I was like, oh, you guys need to review Berserk Volume 1. So I gave it to him. And the second time I met him, I walked up and like, I usually have dyed hair. And so I stand out, but like, I did the first time I met him. Second time I have a hat on, and he walks up and he's like, "Hey, two-tone with the Berserk book," and I was like, "Yo, you remember me? Like, you it's not even because you could see my hair. I have a hat on." So him remembering me really made like a big impact on me. And then I gifted him Volume 2 and 3. So every time I see him, I'm gonna give him a new Berserk volume.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then after 14 times, I'll have no reason to interact with him.
You know, and here's the thing: like, you have to remember these are still people, and not every and some of these really talented writers and artists are introverts.
Yes.
So you have to remember that when you're meeting them. So don't take it to heart that they're not wanting to talk, want to be chit chatty, want to be your best friend. Because some people, that's just the way they are. And don't let it ruin your experience of their stories. Because I've heard time and time again, how many people have met their, you always hear the term, don't ever meet your heroes. Like, how many people have met these creators and had a bad experience with them that they're like, I can never go back and read their stories the same way. I don't care about their stories anymore. I've had bad experiences with some creators that, it hasn't ruined my reading experience of their stories. I still respect them and love their stories, but they weren't the best experiences, man. That like for me.
Yeah. You have to tell me that over lunch.
Yeah. But seriously, that's it for us. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Check out cheapgraphicnovels.com. This is the new schedule. I will have future news sometime soon. And I will ask about Extreme X-Men 2, and I will ask about Joe Kelly Spider-Man. I promise that. Chi-Town in the house, baby. Chi-Town in the house. This is you.
Yeah, wait.
Collectors from there. Yeah.
You are? Say out sometime. See you at Wizard World Fan Expo.
Jack Ferry. Viva Peru, carajo. Melanie looks different today. So what's up with you, man? Thank you, Omar and Johnny. Thank you, Aria. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. And check out Cheap Graphic Novels, our sponsor here in America. That's all I got. Check out my buddy Dime Bree Collector when he get his website up.
Yeah, so I mean, by August 1st for sure, the website should be launched back up. But at Dime Breed Collectors, if you want to get at me before then, and then I got the eBay store. But you're better off messaging me, and I'll give you a better price if you're interested.
Yeah, and thank you. It feels so good to be back and talking to my friends again about all the stuff that's coming. So
thank you for having me.
Really, dude, thank you for being. I'm just glad it all worked out. I was like,
agree.
oh, you're gonna be there. I need a co-host.
Cool.
Here we go. Because the 20 people I asked said no. No, I'm kidding. That wasn't.
I'm number 21. I'll take it.
That's not true at all. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.